Can I even see how many people is live? Can I even see how many people is live? Can I even see how many? Okay, that shit is just going on. It's just absurd. Okay, that shit is just going on. It's just absurd. Okay, that shit is just going on. Absurd. Okay, that shit is just going on. It's a little bit messy. I will get a new microphone later. It's gonna be one of those old microphones, so it's gonna be a little bit more crisp. It's a little bit messy. I will get a new microphone later. It's gonna be one of those old microphones, so it's gonna be a little bit more crisp. It's a little bit messy. I will get a new microphone later. It's gonna be one of those old microphones. Can I actually put in my AirPods because I can it's kind of reverbing. That's freaking annoying. It's kind of reverbing. That's freaking annoying. Why can I not find my AirPods? That is strange. Why can I not find my AirPods? That is strange. Why can I not find my AirPods? Okay, I think I actually heard it twice now because I have my own stream opening. That's not smart. OBS. I have to chat. Can I see how many viewers I got? Let me just tell the community then first. If I open this, can you see it? Nope. I'm not in some shady shit. I'm just, genuinely opening a whole lot of bunch of useless shit for you guys. Let's start trading in a bit. It's been a while, so I might get completely wrecked, but that's the fun part. It doesn't matter for you. You're just gonna see me get completely wrecked in these trades. So this is just gonna be a setup. Me kind of getting back into rhythm as a trader. I did a whole lot of trading this summer. I would say some successful trading as well. We made a whole lot of money. Of course, we lost a lot when the crash came. Not of course, I know a lot didn't lose. Let's just say here $5,000 trading competition. You will see in a while, and you can also on most of my socials, like here on my do I have the regular X open? I can just open it. It's not Squarespace anymore. I changed it. But on my socials, like I have pinned here the trading competition. It will also pop up every 10 minutes on the stream. But like, it's a $5,000 trading competition. You can see everything that needs to be shown here. Based on the total trading volume, we have 1,000 as the base, 2, 4, and 5K. And this is how you can actually win from trading volume and for our return on investment, our ROI. So even though you don't have the biggest trading volume, you can still have a great ROI. Some people try or tend to just win by volume, and basically you could just $1,000, you could put 50x on a semi-safe Bitcoin bet, and that is already 50k in trading volume. You can do that daily and just open and close and make small 5% moves or whatever, but that might not land you the biggest ROI. So there's several chances of kind of making it there. But yeah, I'm gonna go a little bit back to the basics here. Starting to look long term. Let's say maybe first, let me see here on the stream if there's anything wonky. Like, do I have my chat open? I have my chat open. You should be able to see My webcam is askewed actually. It should be bigger like this. Can I? Does it make sense? It needs to fit this border I made, so it doesn't really make scale to window. No, not that. It's actually pretty annoying. Transform. I should be able to do this. I'm sorry, this is my first time streaming actually on YouTube. I've been on a lot on TikTok. I know a lot of you guys know me from there. And then, of course, Instagram. I'm right now. You can't see it. I'm actually in my streaming overlay because for some reason, my webcam, it stretched weirdly, so it doesn't really fit inside my design, my overlay, and it doesn't really matter. But I just like it to fit. Set color doesn't really matter. Add source doesn't really matter. So if any of you guys are avid streamers, of course, just let me know. Transform. I should be able to have it kind of. That's a lot. Like that's a lot. So this is better. I can actually manually fit it here then. Damn, you guys got scared for a minute. This is better, right? This is much better. And then I should be able to actually flip it. Then it's rotate. That was not that. Yeah, we need to flip it, not rotate it. Flip it horizontally. Perfect. It makes more sense for me to have it mirrored this way. Okay. Maybe if I open this up on my I kind of want to see it on my phone how the UI looks. Should be able to do that. Okay, I have a very interesting theory about all of what happened on the weekly close, and I will get into it in just a second. Let me just start by seeing if I can find my live stream. I need to be sure that I'm actually on it. Yeah. I have one viewer right now. That's not enough. Like at all. You can see up in the top left corner, we need 300 subs for 2025. Like, I do a lot of giveaways. And I don't know what we should be giving away. It kind of depends also. If I'm doing some great trades, of course that's going to be a rain. But let's see if we can go a little bit more viral than this. I will see. I can maybe post it I'll post it on my socials right now. I have a bot, and you will see soon in the chat. It will start. It will start posting. Can I do this? It will start posting links like to my socials, to the trading competition, all of that. So it's gonna be fine. Let's say the top chat. I usually would have the chat open here while I'm also on the charts. Just give me a second. I will be posting this live stream link. Okay, but let's see. I'm gonna start trading in a second. I will explain what I find interesting about this week's close first. I see kind of, this is a weekly, but it's also just a daily, right? But we are sitting in the low range. Historically, if we actually have, a wick without a bottom leg, it is a very strong signal that it will retrace within a time frame. But this is a weekly, so we would look at the daily and see like it is starting to retrace. The 4-hourly, check on several time frames. We just had a dump. I would expect this dump, just based on this, to last a little bit more. But zooming in, you can see it gets more and more aggressive. It's more and more sold off. Oh shit. So yeah, I'm gonna have I actually sold my computer that I was trading on before because I was just basically on the phone. I kind of adopted a long-term DCA strategy instead of trading because I didn't have the time. I got my second child, and that just drained my spare time. I didn't want to be a full-time trader whilst having kids. I know a lot of you guys, some of my guys in the community are, and they're doing it great job at doing that. But I had too many other projects going on, so I just couldn't find the time for full-time trading anymore. I just need to find link here. I'm just posting my stream here on my socials. Copy link. I don't know if that one guy watching is just myself, and I don't really care because custom sticker text, live, trading, and education. I think once this stream is done, it will just upload as a long-term video, and that's fine. Maybe I should part it up in segments. Maybe I should have made a welcome video. I will do that next time. So that's just how it is. Let's see. So here, that's fine, man. Your stories. Did I actually do what I was meant to do here? Yeah, I will take it on TikTok as well, if I can view it as a link. I'll just say live on YouTube. As you can see here, we are kind of dropping into a great zone here, very oversold on the 1 hourly. We are still, it looks like we still have some downwards range, but I think the dangerous part about only looking at RSI is it can be kind of tricky in the way it works, because you see here we're ranging at the top line for quite some while, several days actually. And then when it dumps to this bottom downside here, it's actually not that much of a dump, but then it ranges low. So it can range here for quite some while, but it already have made a very substantial, move down. Looking at the 1 hourly, you see clearly that it is starting to get oversold. So we could snatch a great entry here. You can see it has been oversold for some while, and on the 30-minute time frame, we get some there's no, bro, come on. Okay, that the indicator isn't apparently available on Bitunix, but it is still incredible that you can, from within your own exchange, have indicators as I have right now, and you can just open a position. We have cost value. I need to be sure that my limited close isolated. That is important, man. If you're trading and you have a cross margin method, it means that all your available funds on the future account are used as margin. And a lot of people kind of edit this first time they're trading, and it's not really a big deal breaker. But let's say you have $10,000 in your account and you open several trades. If you have a cross margin, as it obviously states, all available funds in the futures account are used as margin, and it will only be liquidated when the loss exceeds that amount of balance. But if you have several trades open that all goes down, and you have one trade that's just tanking, you can actually lose all your funds. So I always use isolated when I'm just trading, especially if I'm live trading like now, because I might be a little bit more risk seeking. Meaning that, for example, let's say I take $200 and I open it on a 95x long, is maybe a little bit, aggressive. I might start out, since it's a long time since last I traded, by like a 30-30. And I want to show you something cool. This is the end game, but it's not confirmed here. If you have $200 on a 30x long, it just says that a liquidation price on the bottom side is 87 if we are longing, and if we're shorting, it's 92k. Actually, very accurately our aggressive ranges here, as you can see. It's a little bit below the daily. Is it actually the daily here? Yeah, it's on a daily low. And let's go here and let me start by doing some large time frame analysis, because it is a little bit easier for me to explain in TradingView, as I already kind of did this. This stochastic RSI, I will hide this for now because we already have it open in TradingView. The MACD convergence, I don't really want to be talking too much about that as well. But let's have this bit Binance liquidation project Atom or whatever it is. It's kind of showing liquidations, and we can use this to see how they want to move the market. Heavy liquidations is often a signal that the market makers have successfully flushed people in whatever direction, and move to the opposite direction usually comes. Last week we had some very incredible events happening liquidation wise. Let's just see on the weekly again. I'm just gonna make sure that you can actually see my TradingView. Yeah, you can. This, you can see the bottom of it, doesn't really matter. But here, look at this. This week, look at the week in, open and close. It basically didn't move at all. That is called an indecision candle, or a long leg doji. I call it an indecision candle because it is more educational for people who doesn't know this kind of TA. An indecision candle is very obvious in its name. There is indecision in the market. The bears are fighting the bulls and no one is actually winning. But if we see here, liquidation wise, we have a lot of volume, and I think it was like in 100 millions liquidations happening within a very short time frame. Was it Saturday or was it Sunday? We can see it here. No worries. Like, look at this. Look at these moves. This is 30-minute candles. Look at this. This range here. And you can see Sunday leading up to today. This range here it's just incredible, because the downwards movement, how aggressively it turned down here, just flushing all the longs. And then immediately after a fake dump, we flush all the shorts, and hundreds of millions is just getting liquidated. The market makers are taking all that back. And right now, again, as long, in my opinion, of course, it's just opinion. All this is speculation. There is no financial advice. I don't know. I'm gonna actually see if I put that in the title. I should be doing that. None of this is financial advice. Do I have the opportunity to actually change my... I'm gonna ask ChatGPT. I'm gonna be very lazy here. How to change stream title and OBS. Manage hidden stream details in possible areas. You can add information OBS. What the fuck? Yeah, I'm not gonna do that. I'm just gonna write in my chat. I should be able to do that, right? What the fuck? There's my stream. Perfect. Bro, what is actually going on? Open Studio. Maybe I can do it in here. I will get back to the TA because there's something very incredible forming, in my opinion. But I really need to have this disclaimer. I know a lot of people are getting mad when they see people talk about trading, etc. And they don't have that. Not financial advice. Yeah, here it is. Not financial advice. I will have a better disclaimer, but I just need to enter this as well. In a short while, there will be a pop-up where you can see my social links, and also to this this $5,000 trading competition that I'm actually talking about. If we go to the let me just refresh it right quick. You can see we have 26 days left, and since I have been a little too busy, to be honest, I haven't had that much exposure on it. But it means that right now the third place doesn't really have any volume. So by just signing up with my referral code under my webcam, you have a very, very great opportunity to enter quickly. And this trading challenge, everything about it is it is in the link. You can see everything explained fully in the volume wise, where you can actually find the rewards, and also the leaderboard here, the ROI leaderboard here. You actually only have one with positive ROI. So we have one other trader who kind of made a bad trade, but it doesn't matter. And I completely missed my entry here because I'm yapping. That's my usual mistake. But it doesn't really matter because I think that it actually might be just a confirmation. Yeah, on the 4 hourly, of course, it's 2. If you look at 5 minutes, like the last time I've been yapping, we actually had this formation. It's an aggressive move on the 5 minutes time frame, but again, looking at the 30 minutes stochastic wise, it's indecision. So we have no confirmation of this kind of bottom actually being a bottom. So just a bottom wick, still red, but I could trade a little bit longer time frame. There's no need for me to just enter a 5-minute trade here with you guys. I could deleverage, and I could say like 30x would have a 87k. I could also just completely fucking gamble it and just say fuck it. First live stream, we gotta YOLO it, because you can see if you're kind of catching a move like this on a very low time frame. Let me just pull it out here. If you're entering a trade like this on a 5-minute time frame and you catch a bottom wick, I know it looks like nothing, but just 0.5%. On a 10x leverage trade, that's 5%. On a 30x, that's 15%. And let me just show you. If you take that 15% and you start with $200, and you have 50 trades, and every time you win a 15% trade, you go all in again. Of course, it's risky. You're not going to win every time. But if you do that, that means that compound-wise, it starts out, exponentially low, but it just increases so heavily. And you could actually end up with 188,000. What the fuck is that? Yeah, the ending balance. Meaning that you would actually, from the last trade, have 216k. That's 108,000% trade. It's always risky compounding all of your gains. But it is a great educational tool to show yourself. If I stay consistent and if I don't aim for that 10x or that 5x trade always, there's always a possibility for you to keep compounding your wealth. Let me just show you here. I gotta update my TikTok 2 seconds. So can I actually see here if I can make the, I should be having my, and I have that here in my timer, if you can see, I should be live with this one. I have no idea why this shit isn't working as it should be. 2 messages. It registers my own messages, but it doesn't really register my timers. Every 10 minutes and 2 lines. Cano 55x. Yo, bro, what's up? How you doing? I'm doing great, man. This is my first stream. I'm gonna live trade. I was kind of stuck in some theories. Now I'm stuck trying to find out why the shit my timers isn't going off. That's weird. Nightbot might actually be for my. Is this shit just for Discord? Because then I fucked up heavily. Fuck that. I'm gonna post these links manually right now in my live chat here. Seeing you always in Telegram. Yeah, you too, man. Let me see here if I can remove this. You trading real crypto or memes? I'm trading real crypto. I'll start out my crypto trading journey again. I haven't really traded, I wouldn't say professionally, but full time or heavily since maybe what was that? This summer. So I'm just kind of getting back into it. I just linked this for everyone watching. This is just, the trading competition layout, the leaderboard. And you have to sign up with below my my big ass face here with a referral code SCORE. You can make a new code. You can you can contact me or contact support if you need how to do it. But that's the only way to actually enter this $5,000 competition. So sign up to Bitunics and then join, because as you can see here, we have a total of $5,000. It's here how it's completely being paid out, the dividends, etc. But yeah, I want to get in on this. I think it's gonna be, might tank a little bit more, but I really have a feeling that we're starting to see a counter move, and it would be nice to snag it, because on a 30x leverage, I don't need more than a 1% pump to have a fucking great trade. Let me be in the team. You can be on the trading competition. Let me see here. Yeah, I was actually getting towards something very interesting. Let me get back to it. If you look here, I kind of want to hide this Fibonacci retracement because it hasn't any real merit for what I'm trying to explain here. But if we look at the weekly time frame, and for now just ignore the liquidations down here, we talked about this big indecision candle, the long leg doji, usually signaling a move, a big move coming. It could be a dump, it could be a pump, but for me, I just think we have too much macro aligning bullishly for us to have a correction to the downside. Because if we take these levels and we look at the breakout from here in 23, if we go below this year's low, that would be the confirmation of the bear market, because it doesn't matter at all. It doesn't matter at all that we go down to this range as long as we don't break it, because you can clearly see that even though we have these dumps, we are still making higher lows. And let me just here. What the shit? Yeah, I don't have my mouse. I'm kind of on a business trip right now. We're still making higher lows. Even though it's not, substantially higher lows, we are making higher lows. And we're also making higher highs. We have these tops forming. And even though it's not much, we are seeing higher highs. And every time we have this indecision candle, let's see, last time, I'm gonna zoom you're gonna see all of my bald ass head right now. But you can see it right here. Let me actually just have a bar. It's much more easy to bar it out. You can see here, we had an indecision candle, two in a row. And even though we had a dump, we actually had, if you take from this line here, we had a nice little pump here in this range. That's like 20% range, even not taking the bottom wick, but just from that range. We can also see that we had almost 3 indecision candles here. And that range, we dumped 20% as well. Also right here before this dump, again, we had an indecision candle that led to a substantial dump. And for us to have two of these big movements in this range, just the 20% would take us below the yearly low. And I don't expect that to happen. I think it's odd with us having several rate cuts, a bullish expectation of a new rate cut happening. And also, let me just see here in the chat. I see hope next 1K watch. Hey bro, Mox. Keep strong, bro. I'm trying to keep strong, bro. Are you joining? If you are in the trading competition, just let me know. I would like to hear kind of how you're doing. But yeah, if you see this, let's see here, indecision candles here, big ass move. I know it's red. I don't want to change it right now. But you can see indecision candles prior to each and every move, almost. I don't really want to get into all this, but just to take the last 2 to 3 years, we have these indecision candles prior to all of these breakouts. And historically, they lead with 2 to 6 weeks. And I actually have a chart that's better for this. Why in the world is it not showing? Open anyways. Yeah, bro, what the fuck? I already mapped this shit out. Why did I delete it? This is much better. This is much better. You can see here, the last 3 years that we had, it's 3 times, so not 3 years. The last 3 times we had a substantial all-time high for gold. We had a 12-week offset and Bitcoin made a new all-time high. Gold making the all-time high here, Bitcoin perfect all-time high here. 12 weeks after. Yeah, sorry, it's the black bars. 12 bars, 12 weeks. Also here, we had gold all-time high happening here, while Bitcoin was sitting also kind of in a move upwards. 12 weeks after, Bitcoin all-time high. And here, gold made an all-time high while Bitcoin was crashing. But I didn't lose hope. I was expecting this crash to happen, because if we look at M2 money supply, it says it here. Clearly you can see here that we lose liquidity, but it's not that much. You can see it's following. I need to put this in 12 weeks offset to fit the gold narrative. You can see here what the crash is happening. We have this dump before the next move up, but this is where I found out. Let me see here. This is where we found out that M2 has been not corrupted, but we are being misled, because we have US, EU, China. Let's see these 3 M2s, right? The major economies in the world. It looks like this. If we add Japan, nothing much happens. UK, it's not really changing, because the M2 coming from these 3 countries is too heavy. But if we remove these 3 countries, a whole nother narrative plays out. And this narrative is much more accurate to what we are seeing right now. We could even actually, we could move like, is this Australia that's tweaking? Is it Canada? I mean, one of these was actually distorting it a little bit. Yeah, this is fine. So why are we removing these economies? EU, it's kind of adopting crypto. It has a huge, economy. It's a collective of a lot of countries. And even though their liquidity is going up, because if we look at EU on its own here, the liquidity is going up. US, liquidity is going up. China, liquidity is going up. But EU has not fully adopted crypto. I know, for example, in Denmark, Denmark is the worst country on crypto taxation. And let's see here. And the funny part about that is, it's a big economy, but it is less volatile. It is led directly affecting crypto. Sorry, I'm eating something. But if you look at US, yeah, they are fully adopting crypto. They want to be the crypto capital, right? But their economy is way too big. Their liquidity is way too big in contrast to what actually happens, what actually enters crypto. It's not like 100% of their liquidity is going to enter crypto, but we know that Japan is an economy that is highly involved in futures trading, a very risk-on economy. UK has a lot of hedge funds, ETFs. Crypto has been incredibly bound to ETFs lately. And India is also a very risk-on economy. So even though they are lesser economies than the three major ones here, they have more impact on crypto. And that is why you can see here, in times where we have a lot of uncertainty, a lot of fear in the market, and we don't just follow the liquidity train. What really moves the market is these movements, and it is scary to see how accurate it actually fits. If we actually offset this one with 0, it might be even better. Of course, it's not one-to-one. You can't just only trade based on this. But if we go to like October-ish here and look at the weekly, damn, I have a lot of shit drawn on these charts. That's actually kind of annoying. It's blocking my view here, but look at this. Look at this. From October, when the uncertainty hit, October, everyone was screaming and we straight up dumped. It showed it right here on the volatility. It could have been going up, but we were entering uncertain times. And in these uncertain times, the economies especially, let me show you here, Japan dumped. India dumped. UK performing quite well, but still have a crash, right? Let's see if Canada and Australia had. Like you can see they're recovering strong, these economies. They have fluctuations, but they're recovering strong. Japan even. Nice little bounce, going a little bit down, but we can see that like it doesn't mean it can't explode even in ranges like this. So let's see if this finds a bottom and actually starts moving again, because that would be very bullish for crypto. India hasn't really found its bottom yet. Maybe this is the bottom range. But if we combine this, what we see is long sell-off, a slight bounce, and a little bit dip here. It fits so fucking perfectly. Like I can find a clean Bitcoin chart here. That's not a clean one, but it's better, right? You can see how perfectly it fits, pumping, and then we might have a red week here. When it's not offset, we can't predict the future, but we can see that liquidity is still controlling the market to some extent. And by looking beyond the biggest liquidities in the market, we can actually see what moves crypto right now. This can change, but it is important, because if we just take all the world liquidity, it will make no fucking sense. And the worst part about it is this whole year, the last 2 years, if you're looking at it, it ranged so perfectly to the degree where I was just swing trading liquidity. I told you guys back in when the bottom happened here in 2025, right? In March, no one was believing it because we were having all of these tariff fears. And this big ass red candle had people screaming for 60k Bitcoin. We had a fake out to the top side, but when we started with the Chinese tariff trade war, what people were doing is they were starting to capitulate completely, screaming for 60k Bitcoin, maybe even 50k Bitcoin. And because I saw liquidity here bottoming, you can see that 12 weeks ahead, as we can see here, right? All of these weeks ahead. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. At this range here, I was starting to get real bullish again because I could see the counter formation happening. And I was screaming on top of my lungs. And unfortunately, my own old TikTok was taken down by some fucking hacker. But what was really interesting is that I was screaming, I just see a pump coming, like to this date. to this date, I was saying, and I was even going deeper inside it on the daily and saying that I can re-upload the video, I still have it, but that we will see a pump and we will see a fake out and we will see a dump again. And that is exactly what happened, because liquidity was just, as you can see here, was just moving perfectly, and now we diverged from it. It's not because we didn't have fearful times here, but it's just because the effect isn't coming from US, EU, or China. China is always a little bit odd because China is not really adopting crypto with the crypto ban, etc. I mean, is it not coming up? I think it's really annoying that I have set my bot to trade this shit. Yeah, I'm gonna fix that for next time. Like the BitUnix, I had a lot of exciting things coming up. Top chatters, I can see like the ones chatting here in Nightbot, but for some reason I can't really see why it won't have my... I'm gonna fix that post streaming. And I can see I missed the move, man. I missed my entry here. As I was saying, we were bottoming out and seeing a move upwards. Like, this would have been a great one. I'm gonna start opening a trade just to follow the market, but this was actually what I was looking for, because as I showed you here on the compounding, we are looking for a 15% move, continuously, exponentially growth on 15% moves, $200 trades, and we just compound that wealth. And I'm not saying we're gonna go to 188K on 50 trades. Depending on how aggressive the day is and how good we are at catching these moves, I might not be making like 5 trades a stream. But I don't like buying a green candle that, it's too aggressive, a green candle for me to get in right now. I would much rather short it. But we are seeing a sell-off happening, so it's probably going to keep moving for a while. On the 2-hour time frame, however, on the larger time frames, we are seeing a correction coming. We can go really scalpy on this one, seeing the ranges here, seeing we're going into the overbought zone. Should I be cheeky and short this one? Am I going to be risking all that on a short? I don't really like shorting the market, but let's just say we go short here. Open short 30x, and we have a confirm. Let's see what happens. We can take a stop loss and we can drag it up here, saying we have a 5%. That's also what I love about BitUnix. You can just take profit at like 10% down here. Maybe I made a mistake going way too early in, waiting for the confirmation on the counter trade the top setting in. But like a 5% loss, for me that doesn't really matter. For me, that's just me getting back into the rhythm. That is the reason we set stop losses, because if it gets hit, I'm not gonna get upset like, oh my god, I fucked up. It's gonna be how it is. So let's see here. It looks like we are flying on the time frames, saying, see here, we are actually seeing a stop to this pump, but on the 15-minute it could fly more. Like, that's the stochastic RSI. It's dangerous because in the middle time frames here, it looks like we are finding a bottom and we are ready to fly. But on the longer time frames, it looks like we are dumping. And on the ultra short time frames, it also looks slightly like we're getting overbought here. And you can see that it wants to go down, but we still have bulls controlling right now. And one of the reasons I opened in this range is we have had some top tests, meaning that we are in a range where for the last, the last hour, we have been finding tops and retracing. So the higher high here, it makes sense to me that we would find a high in this range. And it looks like we still have some upside, but as you can see right now, it starts dumping. It looks like we're actually gonna have a solid little move here. And I know it's not a lot to take here, but we can also take profits for like lesser. We could close it here for a 2% gain. I don't think I want to do that. I don't like shorting. When I'm bullish overall in the market, I don't like shorting. I'm really not a short guy. I'm a tall guy, but I don't really like shorting. For the first trade, let's just be agreeing for like a 5% move. What you can do when this shit starts happening, and it had its crossover, and finding indecision, starting to counter move here again, what you can do is you can just trail your stop loss. Like I'm losing $3 right now. That doesn't really affect me. So right now I'm just trying to find my rhythm again. So I don't want to cross my stop loss down here because I don't remember if it's actually before I let go, if I just drag it down. Yeah, you can see it want to go up again. Yeah, it's finding its strength to cross back over. Yeah, I'm gonna get my stop loss hit. It has way too much momentum. Yeah, there, boom. But that was like a $5 miss. Doesn't really matter. We still have the opportunity to make another short. And you can see that's the that's the problem of having a stop loss here. When you expect that to be the top range, that always happens. It wicks above and it goes below again. So let's see, what did we make? What mistake did we make here? Was it accepting a too low time frame? You can see it kind of fits the narrative, and it looks like on the 5-minute we are topping out. Looks like on the 15 minutes we have way more upside. That's what I talked about entering my long down here. That would have been a beautiful move because on a 30x, that would have been a 15% pump that we were actually looking for. Could have hit it perfectly. Oh yeah, going back. Fuck man, what was I going for? Yeah, just talking about liquidity. But if we remove liquidity from the equation again, and we just go back and talks about these higher highs and the higher lows, what people are confusing 9 out of 10 times, what people are confusing is bull runs and bull markets. You can see this liquidity indicator is actually great on the weekly because seeing a day like this, closing here, you see a whole lot of liquidations. And in August 24, having this kind of liquidation is also indecision candle, but it is a green. We are liquidating the downside. We're liquidating the shorts here. You can see. Of course, we are liquidating both sides, but it is on a bullish move. Of course, it ranges, but in the long run, it is a bullish factor. And then we have a declining market. At declining here, can we make a regression trend? If you go all the way to this here, right? We can see we're not down. There's a bull flag here. And we have an indecision candle here, some from last candle until this indecision candle. Again, you can see we're moving up. It's actually way too short of a time frame to let's see this indecision candle again. Go down. Indecision candle here. This has been kind of an aggressive one. You can see here. So I expect the next move. I don't expect it to be just straight down because why would we have an indecision candle forming here? I don't get it. Why would we have the bulls and the bears fighting for territory? It makes sense in the way that we are in the lowest range, and if we hit this low again, the previous year low, we are in a bear market. So that would be terrible for us. We can maybe take it like this, right? We're taking the bottom wicks, the absolute bottom wicks. fuck it, we just go this year. We take this week, we take, when I'm actually trying to prove a year low, it doesn't really make sense to make it a trend. We just make it like a line here. If we touch this line, doesn't matter. If we wick below it shortly, doesn't matter. But if we close below this line, it is terrible. It is so terrible for the bull market because it is a bear market. Higher highs and higher lows. The second we start making lower lows on the big time frames, that's when we get wrecked. Like if you see all the Bitcoin pairs here, $2021 pumping. It is a bull market, right? But what we need now is the next leg up. We saw the last couple of weeks that with Bitcoin kind of regaining strength here in November, end November, start December, all started to move. But it isn't in a substantial enough way. We need to break this trend. So we need the alt Bitcoin outperformance to, let's say it happens within like January, that is the next Bitcoin expected high. If we go to the gold theory, like all-time high for gold, all-time high for Bitcoin, we need a breakout here to this range. We could also be looking at is this the chart where I have no, this is the chart. Because we have actually Bitcoin dominance. You could also look at Bitcoin dominance. This is more a TA stream than it is a trading stream. Sorry for that, but as I said, I'm just finding my groove here. It has been a long while since I started reading lower time frames. As you can see, we can always find, refine strength on the stochastic RSI. So it's dangerous just to take it. You should also always confirm on larger time frames. But it does look like on the daily, we might be crossing back bullish soon. On the 4 hourly, looks like we're still selling off. 2 hourly, still selling off. 1 hourly, 30 minutes. That's where we see the counter move. But on the low time frames, it can just change so quickly. As we saw here when we were entering, when I was shorting this very, very little scalp here, this was where I was shorting, and it went right above and right below. But if we have kept, what the fuck? If we were kept below this line, we could have hit like, yeah, it wasn't all that. It looked like we were finding strength again. I should have just entered this delicious entry down here, but I was just yapping away. And of course, you can see now, we are fighting at this resistance level, wicking above. But I didn't want to be like the guy that just increases his stop loss, because I think that is a bad trading discipline. Like if you can carry a 5% loss, you just take it. It looks very, very. I want to short it again, man. I'm just gonna say screw it. Like, this is very ultra low time frame. I really usually don't do this, like at all. I want to have the 6 hourly in here as well, so I just removed the. But it doesn't really matter because I can just do this. Yeah. Looks like we are finding a overbought range on the 6 hourly, but it also doesn't really make sense because we already have a reaction in this way, meaning that, in my opinion, I don't know if this is gonna keep turning down. I'm bullish for this week. as I showed you guys before, screw it, let's just go back to the Bitcoin dominance. You can see here, is it weekly? Yeah. This is the last high, December 20. Like the last time we broke down and had a bull run in 21, Bitcoin dominance completely nuked. And we haven't seen at all that happening. We had the summer of 22, a little breakdown, but since then Bitcoin has just been building up. Like even here in this summer when we had a little run, yeah, it almost went down to its 56% Fibonacci level, but it is just not enough. It is just not enough to have a full-blown blow-off top. This was kind of a signal having here in October 6th or 10th or whatever, when we had the crash. But if we look at this range, I'm not saying that this is a relevant low. I'm saying this is more, was it this one? Yeah, I like taking that one actually. Because we see here, it was in 21. Or am I just completely, I think it's another thing I'm misinterpreting here. Yeah, I think we should be taking it more like this range here. Yeah. If we take it at this range, it's where we could realistically end up with the Bitcoin dominance. Because if we always also take this kind of range from these tops, and we look from this breakdown pattern here, the institutionalization of crypto has led us to have less volatile swings, diminishing returns, but also, in my opinion, diminishing risks of volatility. So it makes sense that this is our top. And even though Bitcoin could have a run up again, it might find resistance in this range. So realistically, for the next cycle, we shouldn't be crossing this again. And you can see like here in 19, this move here, it could be similar play out here. That would be bearish, right? So even in a bear market or in a bull run for Bitcoin, we can have narratives that play out that completely confuses retail. Like the bull market started in 2022, but it doesn't mean that it's a straight up line. I think it makes more sense if we go back to Bitcoin chart. Let me just do that. It makes way more sense if we take it like this. Let's just take it for a month. I'm gonna find another Bitcoin chart because that is way off. I haven't used this one, right? You can actually use weekly now as well. If you look at it, if you really zoom out, really look at it, since 2022, when the bear market bottomed, this has been a bull run. Can I actually show it with no, that is wrong. With a regression trend from the breakout until here. We're still trending upwards. And if we really are pushing it, where was it the breakout that I used last time was? It doesn't really fucking matter because we can just do this. Take it from that one, right? You still see that we are trending upwards. In this channel, right? We're just taking this as a channel. For us to trend down again, we would erase this year's low and maybe even go all the way below. As you can see here, last top, yearly bottom, right? But we broke below, but we found the support above again. This doesn't really matter. You can see a whole lot of liquidity being taken to this range as well. But this is a bull run. And in that bull run, like a lot of you guys haven't been here for that long. But just take March, 30% dump. And then again take February this year. If you were here, you remember that because that shit hurt. It's also a 30% dump for Bitcoin. And then we had a great run, which led us to this terrible 35% dump. But still a higher low. We still have higher highs. And shit, I want to trade again, man. I want to get back to it. I feel like I'm missing all the great moves here. We could either increase the leverage to try and find the ultra short range trades, or what we could do is I gotta get some dinner as well. What we also could do is we could just decrease that 15% expectation and just maybe take 10%. I realize this stream is most likely just gonna be me talking, and then you guys watching it afterwards. But it doesn't really matter to me. I'm just enjoying myself here. If we take this new trend forming on the very low time frame, see if we can get a little entry. I'm just toying with it. So you're not trading against me because I'm not really a competitor. You're trading against the community, and as you can see here, it is fairly easy to get taking the volume, for the other entries here. You can easily come and challenge that, even though you're a full 3-4 days behind. We could actually just go full degenerate and just take a regression channel indicator. Curve, I think it actually takes it on the wrong metrics, because if we take it on this one, I don't like having that regression slope here. No, I would much rather have this curve. No, I want to have the regression channel. No, it's not all of the plugins, the indicators you can use here. But it is a lot. You can also just go to her. But I think another thing I like about BitUnix's layout here is if you're watching several charts at once, you can just have like endless charts open almost. Indicator templates, you can make templates. There's a whole lot of ways to kind of you can full screen it. Where was it I was doing this last time? Because I actually just forgot. Yeah, you can have up to 16 different tabs open. Like, I know it's a lot, but but you have a big screen, like a huge screen. You could have a lot of tabs open. I could just split it up like this. I'm just on a MacBook right now. That's why it's not that impressive. Yeah, it's finding that indecision, but it is returning. Let's just have this up here. You can see it is finding a bottom for the daily, kind of trying to either move up or move down, but it is stalling, stalling from a downwards move, and that usually happens kind of in a reversal-ish style. We haven't had many days where this happens. Like here, if you look at it here, we had a slight move down, but then again a bullish continuation, and then this breakdown that seems a lot really wasn't anything. and this seems like a slight pump. The volume following, this is just the speed and direction. Like the volume following, we can't predict that. We can try and time the speed and direction. And looking at this as a new trending, if you find, oh, what the fuck happened here? If we find, oh, this is so annoying. If we find the low ranges, for the daily new trend, and we also find the high ranges, if we can. I think it's right now it's a little bit messy making this type of channel, right? But if you find this channel here, and we expect this to be an uptrend, is it actually a Quasimodo forming? I don't really think it is. We can take this type of pattern, and you know, you can see it kind of coils up. So either we're gonna touch down here before we send. Holy shit. You see what I get, right? This is just one big leg. We saw that happening right here as well. Longer moves, and then we just dump. See if I have a better if it's a kind of a trend reversal and I want to show it in a more visible way, like for this, just ziggity zaggity. I really hope we're gonna see high ranges in this December. What did we have last year? Like we had, was it also in November, December? Yeah, it was. They already happened in November, right? But we had a great December still. See here, closing an all-time high, then opening January an all-time high. If we have that kind of delay, it's still bullish for crypto. Next time we're streaming, I'm honestly gonna have a better microphone. I'm gonna have this whole automated chat messages that for some reason isn't popping off. You can see my dashboard, like I have the timer set. For some reason I didn't activate them. I don't know what is going on there. It doesn't matter now, but for next time it should be fixed. I might actually start streaming again tomorrow. Let's see here. Yeah, I was right about that short that I wanted to take at this high range. Like, where do we have the top side? Is it actually the channel just following above? Is it? No. I know what's going on right now. It's the goddamn arrow shit. Yeah. I think I'm twisting two large time frames into two low time frames. And we're looking at the hourly starting to transform into some bullish momentum. The 2 hourly still on a dump. The 4 hourly still on a move down. But it can always just change. 15 minutes looking like it want to go up. But it could also, since we're on a 15 minute, if you take the 30 minutes here, right? It looks like we're just moving. Go down to the lower time frame. It looks like we have had a move this year. And we could be finding an oversold territory soon. With 5 minutes, it looks like we have had a lot of, speed momentum to the top side. Makes sense because we just had this move up here. Doesn't mean we have to go a lot lower, but it means we could. 3 minutes, we're seeing that cross over on the stochastic RSI. Just remove all of the indicators that I don't really want to look at. And we should be catching moves like this if we are gonna really short-term trade it, because on a 30x we could still have like 6-7% gains on that move, and we kind of miss the whole potential to scalp it if we go down here, since the it's not a lot of bottom range. but it looks like we could have more. I kind of want to long it because when you see a candle that has no wicks, it's just a 3-minute candle, but if you have a candle that has no wicks, we have a retracement coming up. So let's try and long this bitch. 2,000 might be a little bit too much on a 30x. I don't want to be losing like $50 on a trade. Or will I? Am I confident enough that we will blow back up? Like 30-minute, 1 hourly. It looks like we will still go back to our high ranging for today. If we could do that, that would be like on a 30x. It's not a bad trade. If we could find a little lower wick. Ultra shortly, looks like oversold, entering oversold, overbought. Kind of a middle range here, still oversold. Should I do like a $1,000 trade just to end it off? Not end my portfolio off, but just to end the stream off. But if we just have this trade and we range back low here, I might wait for this area to open it and hope that we could find some downwards momentum and open it and maybe have a stop loss around, because I would have a liquidation price that is, yeah, now I feel like I want to find an entry to long it. Yeah, should I just do it here? Damn, that would be a good short, honestly. Like, yeah, good short here. But I do feel like if we're looking at the larger time frames, it looks like we will have a move soon. You see, it's completely dumping on the 2 hourly, but on the 4 hourly, bro, I just can't, because this is kind of what really makes it for me. If we can actually have a daily reversal here, if it's gonna cross back up, it would signal to me that on the larger time frames there's still a move left. But a lot can happen on a short time frame. But looking at do I think I'm analyzing too much sometimes, and that's what's killing my gains. That I'm just, using too much time looking at it, and then I miss my entries. So we see the 1 minute start moving, still dumping on the medium time frames, have a rise coming on these time frames. If I can catch that next, you know what, fuck it, I'm just gonna make the last trade here. I'm gonna put my stop loss to around like, am I gonna take $100 loss here? I mean, that's maybe completely idiotic. But if I could take just like a $100 trade here, and I want to see more of the chart because I feel like we're gonna dump down to my stop loss. Yeah, I'm gonna get wrecked on these trades because I'm too low time framing it. Next time I think I'm gonna open a trade on the start, start of the trade, a longer time, lower leverage trade, longer time frame, and see if I can actually hit a pump. Sorry, it doesn't mean have to be a pump, but if we can actually hit an hourly trade, bigger trade, more, so a lower risk, because these scalp tradings are just, completely wrecking me when I'm not. But it doesn't matter, we learn. And as long as we stay disciplined and we just keep learning, it doesn't matter to me that I lose money, because this is just me returning back as a trader. How long have I been streaming for? Like, is it fucking hours? Is it just like, yeah, 1.5 hours soon? That is fine. Um, I can see that I gotta go make some dinner soon. Yeah, the downwards move is coming now. Like I was watching for the short before, and I think I got bullish too quickly. Like you can see here, it struggles to get back into bull mode. On the low time frames, it is dumping, and I should have waited for confirmation on like, as you can see, the 2 hourly. We should wait for the reversal to actually happen, because I think, in my opinion, when this closes now, we will see a reversal happening. I just think I entered a little too quickly because I knew I was gonna end the stream soon. So I was like, I want to make the final trade, just for fun. That was my mistake, just doing it on a pressured time frame, because you can see here, when it goes down like this with no bottom wick, I know it's gonna move back up, but I just don't know, like how fast is it gonna move back up. That is how long it dips before doing that. So I still think, honestly, that we're seeing oversoldness on these time frames. 5 minute is a little bit more indecisive, trying to find its oversold range. Look at 15 minutes, we're still on a move upwards from this range here. You can see we're still moving slightly upwards. That is why I put it here, because that is a little bit below what I would expect to be the move. 30 minute as well, we're just starting an upwards movement if we can sustain that kind of speed and momentum. That is why we check on several time frames. The 1 hourly, for me it looked like it bottom, but that's what I'm talking about. We need more time. We need more time for this bottom to actually set in. Because if this is actually bottom, as you can see here, we could be looking at a much bigger move. We could maybe move all the way up to here from our entry point. That is like here. We could move just here. That wouldn't be a big move, but that would still be 30% profit on that trade. That would be insane, right? So on the 1 hourly, for the 2 hourly to correct back here, that is not unheard of. Like we had it here, solid little move here. 4 hourly could also be reversing one day. And that is why we look at the daily. That is why I'm like, weekly, basically all crypto on the weekly is extremely oversold. But the fact that we just crossed into this exciting new, it happened here as well. Let's just look at a better chart here. It happened here as well. We shortly had this run, a great run, by the way. Like if we got this bottom, we still got 16%. Like that is incredible, 16% move. But it then dumped down again here, a big dump. But I don't expect these big dumps to keep happening, because I'm bullish, I'm bullish on the longer time frames. So I might just get sniped, wrecked, liquidated on this one trade. But I still think the direction is good. I still think it's a good entry in this area if you want to long it. I just have a high leverage and a low time frame, how much percentage is this actually? Because I don't want to be risking more than that. Right now, I just honestly just want to make my dinner. I haven't eaten all day, so it's like I had a little lunch. But yeah, looking at this time frame, on the hourly, it looks like we are trying to form this bottom. And we see it's actually a very interesting range from where I bought here, and my stop loss, we have been ranging here for quite some while. Buy here, right? No. Was that wrong? Because then we should have been, yeah. So now we're making a little move upwards here, back to my entry zone. My TP is set for all the way up here, so if we actually get a move right now, what we could do to kind of stay disciplined. But if you actually expect it to go above and make a higher high, I would be taking my stop loss and just increasing the take profit and just dragging the stop loss with me. In that way, I might get wrecked on the wick down, but in that way, I could also, if it wicks more aggressively to the upside, have more profit. But I think I will stay on the $50 range here, maybe even go all the way down to this range if I'm lucky enough to catch that move instead of us just dumping. Like, it still has its momentum on this range. It looks like it's trying to reverse here, but like indecision candles. We really are at a point in the market right now where we just can't find momentum. Like, even on the daily, we have these very indecision candles back to back on all time frames. We have a lot of those. And as you can see, last week was a big indecision candle just flushing here. What could look like, it could look like we are having a evening star formation if we have a big dump now here with this indecision candle. It could be a very, very bearish factor. Like, but going back to our 15-minute candles here, damn, bro, it looks like it's just ranging in the worst part right now, because I'm not in a place where I am in profit and I can increase my stop loss, and I'm not in a place where I want to decrease my stop loss because I have no confirmation on any time frames yet. I'm only trading stochastic RSI, Bollinger Bands right now. You can see we're below the Bollinger Band center, a lot below here on the higher time frames, right? So when we are ranging in this low part of the band, it signals to me that we have, I'm gonna increase this a little bit just to not while I'm talking, like we have a strong move upwards coming. You see when we hit it down here, we move, and then we hit the elastic over here, but we can dip substantially below it before that move happens, and we just had that. That is why it looks like we are ranging back. Also, as you can see here on the move on the stochastic RSI, we are finding a very oversold period. On the 1 hourly, it looks like, again, it looks like we have had this dump. It is almost over, but it doesn't mean that we can't wick right here. Price could follow and just either just kill us in this range, or let me see here, or let's see, 4 hour, or we could just find the 50 range here. That is a very good territory, because we don't need to range like this, oversold, overbought, especially in a bullish time frame, a bullish period of time. We could easily be having a kind of a stop here, which it's hard to find a bullish time like this here, because you can see this is November, is all ass. This has been the worst month like ever. So I'm expecting this one to get wicked down and stop lost, but I'm also expecting it to regain profit heavily in some time after that. I think I'm on a time pressure because I really want to make some dinner, man. I'm hungry. But as you can see, if we find a little overbought period again here, a little bit more momentum on the daily, especially in my time frame here, my time zone, we are closing in on, like, we have 6 hours of this day left, meaning that we could end in this range and still have kind of a red candle. But maybe we should look at the 6 hourly then, because the next candle would kind of determine it. Like, would we go all the way back here to the open? That would be a big move. Yeah, now we're dumping, as I said, the last flush, in my opinion, here before we see a continuation to the upside. And I think that, as I said before, I was getting a little too eager, because I was like, I'm ending the stream soon, so I'm just rushing into a trade. That is never a smart thing to do. But again, I don't give a shit. we're just experiencing here. We're just experiencing. As you can see now, the red candles are getting more volume. We're trying to move up, and then again we have these bigger red candles. Meaning like we have this low here on the Bollinger Band on a very low time frame. Do I want to risk it and just go down with my stop loss? Because if we take basically any other time frame, like I know 15 minutes looks really, really terrible, but if we take like 30 minutes, we are just kissing the bottom here, every single, all the way down. 1 hourly, it looks, we could go lower. 2 hourly, still on the, the bottom, the lower part of the Bollinger Band, meaning that we have more upside potential than we have downside potential. I know this was a very little squeeze here. The 4 hourly still trading below center. On the daily, we are trading. Actually, we could be moving down to my stop loss on the daily, seeing as we are still trending down. But this move, you can see it caught the free fall here, and it started to curve it. That is why I'm starting to find a little bit more bullish momentum. Bullish belief. See, this candle actually got completely ate. But it's I hate this part because you enter a little bit too early, and you just feel that volatility ranging, and you're at the exact wrong part of it, because instead of you bouncing in profit, constantly trying to ask, should I just close it? You're constantly bouncing in a deficit, and you're arguing with yourself, should I increase my stop loss? Should I just eat it? I could also just close it up at a profit right now if I want to go get some dinner, but like I'm not gonna go buy and make chicken. I was actually considering closing at a $25 bonus there. I know it's very cheesy, taking what is that? Like a 3% gain. But the fact is, my one other trade today, we're just fooling around. What did I lose? I lost like $10. So I'm actually already in profit totally today. That's not a lot. But as I also said, this is my first stream back, my first time trading in a long time, like half a year. I'm closing in on a good move here. But it really, really depends right now on these time frames, because you can see it crossing over. It would be a very, very good thing for this to keep crossing up. We really suggest that we are regaining momentum to maybe eat back this 2-hour candle. But it would have to, how long do we have back for this candle to, can we see that in BitUnix? Because it would be nice if this would close soon and would reveal the next, now it fucking dips again, man. I can maybe just see it here, like if you're looking at a 2-hour candle, it would close in like 1 hour. That is why it's so hard to, and we just had an hourly close, didn't we? So if we look at BitUnix again, and we take a 1-hour candle, like we just closed this hourly candle here and the indecision move, and it could look like we're having I kind of confuse these ones. We could have a Morningstar candle forming where we have a big leg and we have this indecision candle, long leg doji, and then a full kind of retracement of that previous candle. Yeah, it looks like we're gonna have a formation like that happening. I could have taken like this profit, but what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna increase my stop loss to this range where if we get wicked down to $20, I'm just gonna take it. Or am I gonna be degenerate here? Yeah, I'm gonna increase my stop loss here and say $26. I'm in profit area. I'm just gonna take that, And I'm just gonna keep increasing this one now. Stop loss 250. Yeah, $50. That was actually where I started my profit. So we are most likely gonna get wicked now, but it doesn't matter because we have a $50 profit. Yeah, boom, hit. No, fine. Like, just decide, man. As I said, we might go have a wick down here, especially if we look here on the, yeah, we are in the 1 and the 3 minute. We're starting the move. We could have a wick down before the next move, but was it on the 1 hourly? Yeah, I do expect us. Yeah, I'm gonna get closed here. Yeah, boom. That's perfect, man. That's a $50 trade. And what I would do now is I would wait and see if we can go lower, maybe open a new long. Yeah, bro, it's gonna be fucking, because on the 1 hourly, the 2 hourly, I still need more confirmation. But as you can see here, this would be a perfect Morningstar formation, like retracing this candle fully from here. If we could kind of go back to this place before moving there, we could have like a full 1% move. And on the 30x long, that's a 30% move. Like, I'm not gonna be putting $1,000 on my trade this time, maybe, but I would like to enter again. So maybe just say $500 on a long. Let's see. I'm not gonna rush into anything and be an idiot here, but it looks like we're just starting. But this could cross over on the short time frame to get a little bit. But on the ultra short here, let's see, 4 hourly. The breakdown happened. We haven't found any kind of staple. This is not, bro. I'm completely missing. I just want to have my fucking dinner, but yeah, the move is happening again. I should just have entered, man. But sometimes it's better to just sit out the trade if you need confirmation. And as I said before here, like, I expect this move to happen, this 1% move. That would be a very great trade. And I could have gone full retard and just 75x longed it. But again, this is not about making insane profits. This whole live streaming is just about, getting back into trading and making consistent moves. Building some discipline. Like, I showed you this, and that we didn't get a... But let's actually calculate it. Like, I have my calculator right now. You can't see it. But if you have $1,000 trade and you have a $50 gain, that is actually a 5% move. But what if you then have like a $50 gain on what would have been our $200 entry? That is actually a 25% move. Because as you see here, I'm gonna open the Forex Compound calculator. The first trade would have been a $30 profit. And I lost $10 on the first trade and I won $50 on the second trade, meaning that I have $40 profit. So we're still good on track here. If we start with $200 trading, I know I fucked it up by going higher, but if we have $200, 50 trades, 15% compounded every time, it means that 50 trades will net us $188,000. And it's going to be, I'm not going to follow this strictly. I'm just going to show you guys that smaller trades is going to be, it's not smaller trades, but realistic returns far outweighs the expectation of hitting a 500% trade. Of course, if you have like, I called it back in March and I made a good trade. I think I got like $15,000 on one trade because I was so confident that this low was a low. And of course I didn't ride it to the full top, but by entering in this range leveraged, of course you're gonna cash out before, because it's not about catching the top. It's all about making money, not just hoping you make it. And realizing profits is what the fuck? Realizing profits is number one. Rule number one is realizing your profits, because just having a trade open, like it's worth nothing if it gets liquidated. Let's go back to the 5 minutes here. Because if we look like at the last daily candle here, we have a high. I'm gonna take these ranges. We're gonna have a low here. We're sitting in a very interesting spot, right? Between those. I'm gonna make them dotted just so when I zoom in I can better see it. If we have this range here, we are kind of in the middle of it. Of the last trading day here. And you can see we're actually ranging higher. We could go lower, but we are ranging higher from this last bullish momentum. So when we zoom in, we look at stochastic RSI, it looks like it wants to return here. It looks like it's having a bounce. Also, on the 1 hourly, it looks like we have touched the low end of the Bollinger Band. 30 minutes, we are looking very... Fuck, I want to fucking enter again, bro. But it looks like on the 15 minute, it's cooling off. This candle shows it clearly. We have a little bit of downside. It could, here you can see it ranges, but it keeps going up. It's cooling down in speed. This is speed. This is nothing to do with volume. On the 5 minute candle, we go really slow. It looked like it want to make its move up back again. It is a very fucking low time frame, so it's really hard to use for anything certain. But on the 2 hourly, as I said, that was what I was waiting on. I said we got the trade. We won the trade with a $50 profit, but that was what I was waiting on. This candle to go lower, the 2 hourly stochastic, you know, to find its bottom, and the overbought zone already happens down in this range, right? The 4 hourly, that is what I actually move based on when I usually trade, and that is what I'm trying to go back into scalping, having a little live trading, because I don't want to sit here and like just make a trade and say, let's see you guys in a week and hope we got profit, because I think it's more educational, making those errors, making those mistakes, and then finding out what we did wrong. Because my first trade today, I lost $10. It was just I think it was on a $200 bet. And we found out what we do wrong. And immediately after that, we made a much better entry. Had a stop loss at a comfortable level, but we didn't even hit it because we set it a little bit low. So it's a little more to the painful side, but we didn't expect to hit that range. It was realistic, but it wasn't kind of a... Yeah, you know, the daily, you're going to wait a long time for that shit. So if you're going to scalp trade, you're going to be moving in these ranges a lot more. Seeing that this, yeah, you can see just waked up again. Like, that's the dangerous part on these low time frames. It can just turn so quickly. But if you go into a 30-minute candle, it's starting to move. 1 hourly, we're picking up speed, finding a bottom. 2 hourly, it closes in 45 minutes. So if you want to look at a longer trade, you're going to look for that. You're going to look for that confirmation that when this one closes, when does the 4 hourly candle close? Is it just 2 hours later or 4 minutes? Man, what the fuck? 4 hours. It closes in 2 hours and 43 minutes. So if we want to make a longer term trade here, I could do that. You go make dinner and then hope. Hope is a bad word for trading, right? As I said, like if we are looking at the one daily chart here, I expect us to move within this range, but having this support, meaning that if we go down, but this is still daily, so let's just take on a 2 hourly. So we have this range. We are not anywhere close to support. We are, however, still trading below the Bollinger Band level, trying to find the next range. trading in the middle of it. Here we're actually trading above it on the daily. That is what conflicts me right now, because I was earlier this day when I was, I was having a, what the fuck do you call it, kind of a workshop. I was looking at the charts, and I was seeing the lower ranging, and I was like, this is a perfect entry. Like if you look at today here, we pumped here through the night. But if you look at the 1 hourly, you could see, shit, I just gotta find it here. You could see we were pumping and pumping and pumping, right? And we start to find a very overbought zone. That is a great shorting here at noon. That's a great shorting because you're ranging high in the Bollinger Band. Even though I expect us to move up, we will always have ranging. And even if you look at the 2 hourly, it was getting very, very obvious here around noon. But yeah, fuck it. Next time I'm just gonna trade, man. I'm gonna wait for this, for this trading session. Next time I'm just gonna fucking open it. I'm just gonna go low leverage. I'm just gonna open it, and then when I open my trading in our live stream, we can kind of argue why I entered the trade instead of just me waiting. You can see these last 4 hours have just been dumps, like a whole lot. I think actually if we look at, the liquidation indicators here, I'm just going to reset it. How, let's see, if I only had like fucking, yeah, advarsel. Okay, I have a warning on my it may be my, if there is someone watching this video after the stream is done, please tell me, is the quality bad? Because I'm getting a warning that like my bit rate is bad. But yeah, looking here, if we go to the 4 hourly, you can see here this big red candle on liquidations, like it flushed a lot of people. And usually when we have these moves, these big moves, if it's on the upside, like here, shorts were wrecked, we will still maybe have the range, but have a counter move, most likely, based on the other side of liquidation. It's just one factor that we could see, but I expect based on this alone, it's not enough to move on, but right here, we have these alerts like boom. And even if we have there's two big liquidation alerts saying that longs are liquidated, we're gonna counter move, right? So we haven't really had that over liquidation level obvious move, but as you can see, this big red candle, in my opinion, when we are looking at trending upwards still, in my opinion, looking at the daily here, finding a range before moving in, we've dumped, pumped, dumped, but we're still kind of moving right now in a almost, I would call it a bullish Quasimodo, just by looking at it, not drawing it up. But we could also, if we have a neckline here, we could maybe have a, I wouldn't say it was an inverse head and shoulders because it's taking too long to regain this strength. Also, we're just seeing the reversal, so it would be kind of weird to have it play out that fast, in my opinion. We do, however, have this indecision candle on the weekly. And if we are gonna say that we are in a bullish, so we're in a bull market still, it is very important that we keep this uptrend here. Like this line here, I can draw it up if you want that. But I have a lot of shit drawn up as already. We're ranging here. As long as we don't go down to the bottom, 74K, we're still in the bull market. But closing in this range here, 80k, that is crucial that we don't close there, because that would keep momentum going to the downside. And from 80k down to 74k, it's not a lot. It's like this range here, it's just 7%. And what is the last candle we had? Weekly candle that was as more than 7%. So in my opinion, for this to be a 5-year cycle, for this to be different, we have to have this long leg doji play out to the bullish side. And how do we track that? That is what I told you guys about earlier this stream. I don't know if I actually did it, but like 94k is our bullish close. If you have a weekly candle closing here, we can range within this however we like, but we need to close above 94k and not close below 83.8k. That is the bottom of this indecision candle. Do we actually have a grade? This isn't big enough, in my opinion, to kind of be used, because as you can see here, we closed below that, but we had a flush. So that's a manipulation of crypto. Ultimately, this one as well, we closed weekly below it, a big move up and then down again. But for a trend, a counter trend, you can see here. Can you see it actually from a dead point here, where we have 3 indecision candles basically. When we take the big one, we have these ranges, and we didn't close below it here. This one even didn't close below it, didn't close above it, didn't close below it, didn't close above it. But then when we started closing above it, we showed the real side, the real move that we were going to make. And then we just have indecision candles back to back here, but keep having the bullish confirmation on it. I don't really think this counts as an indecision candle, even though I used it as an as a marker here. But this one, for example, like we closed above it, then we closed below it. But these candles usually take more time to play out, like 2 to 6 weeks, as I told you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then we have a new trend playing out. That is a thing you need to know about crypto. Like, you think you know TA, the market makers know it as well. So why wouldn't they set something up once in a while? Why wouldn't they set something up to completely throw you off? Like, that's just my opinion. That's why I don't like the middle part of trading. Either it's just my personal strategy for this year have been. Let's see if I have any questions in the chat here. Weekly, we usually have offset of 12 week with M2 money supply. Can you please check with that? Fasty Passy, are you still here, man? I'm sorry, I completely missed that text. I don't know if it's recent, but yeah. Let me just have this one closing argument before that. Fuck, man, if I missed that, I'm sorry. I should have had, the live stream open here. I usually have it. I have it in here, but why do I not have it popped out like this? Do I have it like now? Weird shit, man. Can I actually do like this? Yeah, maybe I can if I close YouTube Studio and I just that's actually really odd, because I have my trade options, keep it open to show finance. That's weird, man, because I actually have my pop-up chat here. Why can't I make it just stick? Maybe I can make it like this. Would be actually better if I can do it like that. Have my chat open here. That's really weird, man. But just don't worry. I'll get back to Fussy Pussy. If you look at the weekly here, I said it before, but of course it's been a long session. If we look at M2 global liquidity, the biggest flaw of it, 12-week offset here. I'm just gonna do it one more time here. I hope you're still watching, man. I can see we still have some viewers. But if you're looking at M2 global liquidity, we have 12 weeks offset, as you said, Fussy Pussy. But the problem is, it's not really working anymore. And I have the explanation for it. Not many people have, but I think I found the perfect explanation for it. If you see here, We take it on a 12-week offset. And coincidentally, if you look at gold, do I have gold on speed dial? Is it XAU? Yeah. If you have gold here and you look at a 0-week offset, that's fucked up here. If you look at gold at a 0-week offset, like taking these couple of years here, that is just incredibly accurate. You can see that it's incredibly accurate. Of course, it's not 1-to-1, but it is incredibly accurate. Even though here you can see we are struggling, but we are still moving up, having a downwards move. That is because, and it is easiest explanation possible, is simple. It is just the risk pyramid. The liquidity enters gold first, lowest risk, and Bitcoin last. That is why we have the 12-week offset for Bitcoin. But why does it not work anymore? Like, it has been working so perfectly. And you can see I only have 3, but if we take everything into account, even 12 weeks offset since 2024, when we had the first Bitcoin ETF, meaning that we got tied a lot closer to the stock market, meaning that liquidity took less time to enter crypto and was more predictable, because now that hedge funds, the ETFs are open, it is easier for institutions to rotate money into crypto through ETFs. So since that time here in January 2024, suddenly, even though you can see it's kind of a little bit suiting, we just started going mad close to the liquidity movements. But what happened here on October 10th, sorry, I'm just sitting like this, it's disgusting to some people. But what happened here, October 10th, we had a big crash, but M2 kept rising. And I'm just gonna say this one more time. It is because the biggest economies are still printing liquidity, like still printing money, lowering rates, etc. US, slowly but steadily, liquidity is increasing. EU, quite aggressively, has been increasing, especially since like early this year, as we see the market reaction to that. China, slow and steady for a long time here, right? So China doesn't really allow crypto trading, so it's not really that important. EU, still very regulatory weakness around crypto. It's adopted in some countries, but EU has a lot of countries. US, big economy, big liquidity printing, especially since we have QT stopping, and we could see why does this only go there to 2021? Like, we could see this type of liquidity inflow on a QE, but it doesn't really matter, because crypto isn't, how to say it so it makes sense. Let's say that we have the US economy. It's not all of that enters crypto. Let's say it's just this. A little bit, a speck of that economy, your liquidity, is entering crypto. But if you have Japan, it is a lesser economy, but it is known for the Japanese yen carry trade. People are basically, because of the low rates, they're basically borrowing Japanese yen to open leverage trading, like futures trading, and buying stocks and buying whatever. So because of that, and because a lot of that liquidity goes into futures trading and high risk techs, SPX and crypto, it is a better indicator, and you can see that in uncertain times. It is what really moves the market. UK, we have a lot of ETFs and hedge funds. India is also very risk on. See here, it hasn't really. You can see here it follows the market well. It's not really on an uptrend yet. To take UK, India is a very high risk economy as well. Looks like UK here is trying to keep printing. Like, we have these ranges. If you kind of look at it as a higher high and a higher low, It might be just the next move up. Japan, as I said before, we are still having higher lows. We could still have more liquidity flowing into the market, but this next week, we might see the direction that it most likely will go. But if we take these three risk on countries and we then kill that because it's more directly affecting crypto, meaning that we don't need a skewed time, an offset time. You could just say like 3 weeks or 2 weeks even for that movement to happen. It aligns very, very accurately with the recent crypto movements. And even though it doesn't align perfectly here, it doesn't matter, because when the change happened for Bitcoin 12-week offset, as I said, October 10th, that is exactly where this pattern started being accurate. We could even, if you just take the offset completely off, you can see that it has a very direct effect. Like in uncertain times, it has a very direct effect on crypto. Move up, move down, and let's see if we don't reverse here. I know you asked this Fuzzy Pussy and I didn't answer you. It's my first time streaming on YouTube. I've been streaming a lot on TikTok, and I want to be streaming more on YouTube. I really like the possibilities you have on YouTube to actually integrate bots, etc. And I had a whole lot of shit set up. As you can see, all my timers here for the trading competition. I want to very quickly, just if I can do it on my stream elements here, I can have this full time showing, like settings, iteration pause 0, show it for like a fucking million seconds, 110 seconds. Okay, let's see if it pops up now. I just press save here and I go back into my OBS. Yeah, it should be now. No, that's not the right one. OBS here, my streaming setup. It's not really showing, is it? It's so fucking annoying, man. But if I will be working this out, because I have a whole lot of bots set up for this, but it doesn't really trigger. Like, you can see my sub goal. I got 1 sub today. Perfect. Just got 300 more, 299 more to go. Oh, we're seeing a move happening. We still need confirmation. 1 hour is looking so much, volume, so much volatility. Actually, I hoped that I could catch this low wick, but I was yapping. I really want to enter a trade that is more long term, and I was just, please go down. Looking at the 5 minutes, 1 minute, it looks like we actually are on a very bullish little period here. Having a slight dump. 30 minute, 1 hour, all bottomed out. 2 hours, almost bottomed out. 4 hours, getting there. 1 day, looks like one actually cross up again. That's what I'm kind of. Let's see. We have this daily volume here. If we can get back up, that's 0.4% move just back to the daily open. I'm not saying that Monday should be a green day, based on this whole last movement. That's not what I'm saying. You never trust a Sunday pump, they say. Unless you actually do. But we see today as well, we from the Sunday close, we actually had a 2% move to the upside and only a 0.8% move to the downside. So let's see last Sundays what happened, if we can see that here. I think it's better in TradingView actually, because it says what day it is. Just take daily candles here. Sunday we had a Sunday dump that continued. We had a Sunday pump that continued. We had a Sunday dump that continued. And we had a Sunday pump that again continued based on the movement of the market, like reversals. So it could be like, see here, Saturday, Sunday pump continued, actually not much, but it still continued. Dumping until Sunday, where we have a pump continuation through Monday. So it could be that we close green again, and it's not going to be much, as I said before. It doesn't have to be much. If we can just go back up to the open, looks like fucking is doing it right now. It's annoying as shit. But if we can just go back to the open here, gonna be like a 0.3% on a 30x trade. That's gonna be like a 10% move. That's not gonna be bad. But this 2 hourly is really messing with me. You see, you want to go down, and I need it to go down. I need it to go down and find its bottom, and find its, its oversoldness. And the 4 hourly, you can see it. I don't know, we can see it in BitUnix right now. I'm just using it here. It closes in 2 hours. So either I'm just opening a trade now and I kind of accept that I might find a better entry, but I don't. Or I'm just closing my stream and I'll just update you guys on my socials. Like, I have my link tree in the bio. I'm on Twitter, on Telegram. I have a community with like 200 members right now, avid traders, and they all share, not all, but a lot of them share their trades. There's a very fucking insane trades in that chat. I say to you guys right now, even in the worst market conditions, I see some of these guys, you're making 1,000% trades. I'm like, how the fuck do you do that in a bearish period? One of these guys, who was it, man? I don't remember who it was. He made some due to the high volatility. I wasn't sure to share SEC again, but you can try to look for a short opportunity if you do your own research. Yeah, I have one of my mates just here, one of the members, just talking about SEC. Let's see if he actually called this one, because I think he did. He was talking about, if you look at the hourly, yeah, he was talking about, and that's 1741, so that's here. He was talking about shorting Zcash at 4:23. He posted it. Bro, that's the fucking, how does he do it? Like, this exact top. And if you took that trade, you would already have, just on a 10x, like a 25% gain. So these guys, they're great traders. A lot of them are actually better traders than I am, because I haven't for this whole last half year traded. I've been investing. There's a big difference. And I'm just trying to find my old trading rhythm when I do these live trades with BitUnix. They have been granting me this big opportunity of giving you guys a competition. You can see the leaderboard right now. There's not many entries, so that's why you have the big opportunity right now to enter and make a big difference. A prize pool, how do you see it? Prize pool of $5,000, as you can see here. All for you guys. I have nothing to do with it. Like, I'm not gonna win this. I'm just for you guys that just trade, and we build up a total volume, and then within the next month, like I think it's January 6th, isn't it here? Yeah, ends in 26 days, so that's a lot of time to accumulate volume. $5,000 is gonna be split. Is it shown here? Yeah. The first one is going to win 30%, the second one 20%, the third one 15%. But that is only volume, like 70% is divided into volume. We also have ROI, return on investment. So yeah, just sign up with and you can see here below my webcam, you can see the referral code for BitUnix. We sign up with this one and then just join. I have linked it a little bit higher up in the chat. I linked the sign up. I can't fucking wait. I can't wait. Sorry, I'm cursing. I can't wait to get my bot set up properly. I think you can actually see the trading pop up now. It's fixed for some reason. Oh, damn, bro. I don't no idea why I'm not getting chats. I have the automated chats set up for you to kind of get these entries. But yeah, let's see what happens now. I can see it's dumping a little bit more. You can see at the 4 hourly, it's breaking down. And what would be nice is you can see, even though That's the dangerous part. Like, even though we had this move, it moved up, it moved down. It's not a lot, but it moved. You can see here, this little range, it is just speed. It is oversold. It is, but it can still dump. Here, like, still, this is a bigger move, so it make more sense. But I still want this one to find at least a middle part here in the 50. The 50 range is a very strong place, in my opinion, for it to revert, because the 2 hourly is already getting down to this level. And as you can see, it can have a very low ranging for like a whole day here, from December 3rd all the way here to December 6th. We had this oversoldness. But it is not that typical for us in a bullish market to have these periods. And you can see when you have a lot, all this oversoldness, the volume isn't necessarily that big. Like right here, it happened prior to a big sell-off, but we had this range. And if you look at this range, it's not that aggressive. Here again, we're ranging nicely, but the oversold period isn't that long. This is a more volatile one, but as you can remember, the end of November was ass, and the whole November period was bad. But nevertheless, I really want this one to just reach. As you can see here, we have a lot of indecision in the market. Go a little bit higher here. Just look at the last week. The last weeks, all the flushing, all the liquidations in the market right now happening. It just tells me that market makers are just racking in money. They're just racking in those liquidations. They want to move the market back up, but before they do that, they're just racking in that money. As you can see here, this indecision candle perfectly shows it. We have basically zero body on that candle. Nothing. This whole last week was just liquidating shorts, liquidating longs. And either that is for the next move down. I highly doubt it, because I'm bullish on the medium and long time frame. And of course we can range back in this range, but we need to hold an uptrend, or else we will be in a bear market. Yeah, let's see if this 2 hourly candle keeps shitting itself. It would be very, very great for me to get an entry at the 89.5 range. I would think personally that that's a good range. The problem is that it can still, range back to this place here without being too bad. And I'm not going to have if I have a 30x long, I'm not going to be having and accepting like a 25% dump. I'm not going to accept that. I'm going to set a stop loss like maybe like here. Maybe even actually like here. Oh, that's actually bad. It's more suitable if you go into a lower time frame. That's better to kind of show the stop loss. Like, yeah, we're ranging below a lot, actually below the Bollinger Band, and you can see in the 15 minutes we're actually hitting that bottom range. And either we're going to continue down, or we're just going to range here before we squeeze back up. It happened here as well. You can see we dropped down out of the range, and even though we range a lot below it, we still squeeze up and have a long time trading above it. Now we're trading below, we're breaking out, and you can see here, just as last time, we are actually very slightly trading a little bit to the upside. So maybe I should just find my entry. But what does the larger time frames say? The larger time frames indicate that we have just over the last couple of hours dropped very aggressively below the Bollinger Band. This squeeze kind of fucked it all up. Like 88 is as I said, I want 89.5, but 88 is too low for me. I can't wait for that, and I think if I'm waiting for that lower Bollinger Band level, I'm gonna be wrecked. Like I'm gonna be waiting so long that I completely miss my next entry. Oh my god, it's like 40 hours ago I said I was gonna close the stream, but here we are, still trading. I don't know, I'm not making a shit ton of money on this. I'm really just chilling with it. Oh shit, I'm just giving myself emojis like this, so cringe. As I said, this is just me getting back into trading, taking you guys along with the journey. Shit, man, it's starting to move. As long as we're not having like a 0.5% move, that's not me missing an entry, in my opinion. Because 0.5% move would mean that I miss my 15% trade, and I like these 15% moves on the short time frame because, as I showed you before, that is the whole thing. Like, I know it's just $200, so if I'm maybe just getting 10%, it's gonna be cool. And I might actually need to open an Excel, you know. This is looking actually a little bit bearish on the 15-minute. Having 30 minutes confirms that we are, you know, didn't really have enough momentum to sustain that. The 1 hourly is again looking like it needs confirmation on the bottoming. The 2 hourly, however, when does that close? Like, can we see that close like in 10 minutes? Ooh, when it's dumping, that's perfect. That's perfect. For the 4 hourly, closing in 2 hours, that we need one more candle. But Jesus Christ, man, I would really like it to dump back here, man. But again, if the 2 hour closes like this, yeah, just be perfect. This would actually have been a sick entry, man, if we'd have caught that. Now, I know it's not like an 89.5 like I wanted, but this would have been a very solid trade. But it is right now. You can see here that was a good trade. But right now, as you can see here, I think it's just a little too indecisive, the market in general. So if we're looking at this range, we actually touched where I should have entered. Like, if I'm still bullish and being oversold, I know this is 5 minutes, chill. But being oversold here, also on the 30-minute time frame, even on the 1 hourly, I should actually just made that trade. So this is just one candle. There's no confirmation to gather from that little shitty TA we made. But if we just take it like this, I know there's 1 wick below it, but we have the majority of the volume up here. So meaning that this wouldn't be bad. And even if we entered now, we would have, but yeah, I know on a 30x, that's still like a 25%. I was one of talking about 25% risk to the downside for a, but that is still relevant. If we get a, like here, that would be a 30% to the upside. We're gaining the full candle. That's not what I'm aiming for. I'm just aiming for gaining this candle. Like, if we could get back to the top of this candle, it, in my opinion, would mean that we could take a little bit of a bigger wick to the upside. But I could sit here. That's what I told you guys about before. I should just have opened it and just left, or completely ignored it and waited for that next 2 hour confirmation. Because now I'm sitting here. I'm enjoying myself. I know I'm just talking with myself, but I'm actually enjoying myself right now. I like analysis. I like numbers. I'm a fucking nerd that way. Ooh, and it looks like we're gonna have an entry. Yeah, just dump a little bit more for me here. Like, I know it's a low time frame, but usually when I see a candle, you know, like here, a candle with no wick, that's just immediately a signal that we're gonna revert. We always will eat back. When we do it, no idea. As you can see here, we just make a mark from that candle right here. And we go to the 15-minute. You can see that that it retraces very handsomely here. It has no, you know, it has 2 wicks. It always have 2 wicks. If you have a, let me just delete all this TA. I don't even know if you can call it TA, man. It's weird calling it TA. But if you have like a 4 hourly candle closing like that, that is an indicator, man. The higher time frame you close with no wicks, it's really rare to see actually. But the higher time frame, like here, it actually has a wick, right? But the higher time frame you look at, most likely you will have a counter move unless it has like a big volume. But here, it's a 4 hourly. If you zoom out, it's gonna take back. No, that's not even that long. It's just a couple of days, and it's gonna take that shit back, move below it. Let's see the 1 day here. It may be actually, maybe actually might be an outlier. It has a wick here, so it's not really. But then again, it works in the way that it dumps down and it will retrace to show a wick. Like here. You can see that it has no wick here. So even though it dumps, it will retrace back and, you know, go, because you can see we closed here, but we did eventually go higher and then back again. So we should zoom out to the weekly. It's hard to explain it, but for me that's just a big indicator because it's so rare to see a candle that has no 2 wicks. I don't know exactly what you call it. I don't remember what the fuck it's called. We can ask. Shadow. Marubozu, yeah, that's what a strong bullish white green or bearish, yeah. Oh. It has a low close, no wicks on high. Bearish Marubozu open high, you close low with no wicks. Yeah, but again, TA is only, you know, TA is only good to have an indication. Then you need to kind of have a more total outlook on the market. What is your total opinion of the market? And you need to combine that shit with, oh fuck man, I missed entry. I was just talking, as every time I start yapping, I miss this entry because this was actually a good one. Like as you can see, it was almost my 0.5% move that I was waiting for. Especially if you look like here the 5 minute, when I said we touched the bottom range of the wick here, that would have been, I would have closed that shit. Like, but then we're moving down again. Do I actually get my, no, I don't think I will, because we're seeing the move happening again. Straying up, this needs confirmation, closing in 4 minutes, then it will most likely move up since closing, you know. But we can't really use, that's why I'm not just trading, because you see it moves so sporadically. Seeing this climbing in the way it does, it would suggest to me that we would most likely have a short coming. At least scalping a short, like we are moving in this range, having no, fuck man, that's the move. Because I still think like in the next half an hour, we could see a little move to the downside. Because as I said, the 2 hourly needs to cool off. The 4 hourly still has 2 hours left before showing any kind of decisiveness. The daily candle still has from here 0.3% to its open. And if we go back to the range, we would most likely have a little bit more of a movement. I know this is a small money movements, but yeah, I should have opened that trade. Like it was a perfect entry here, and we had that 0.5 that I was asking for. But I'm just talking too much. But maybe I should start watching for a short then. If this one goes, to the top side of the Bollinger Band and goes up, outside it, for me that would be very short-term bearish. But as I'm expecting us to go closely back to our opening candle, I don't like shorting. So that would just be me canceling the stream. Like if we hit that level, but as you can also see here on the 15 minute, on the 30 minutes, there's still a lot of upside back to the median of the Bollinger Band. I'm considering just closing now. I think we're gonna retrace a little bit. This is what I was talking about before. As we have, you can see last two trades, we got wigged out on the bottom side. I did say we most likely will close this one in a $50, profit, and it will go back lower, but we will most likely see this evening or morning star formation happening, big red candle, indecisive candle, and then have a full retracement to the upside. So if we had entered here, back where we were actually just not that long ago, and we got that full candle, that would be 1% move almost, being like 30% trade. So that's why I told you guys that I usually like to trade on a larger time frame with a larger investment and a lower leverage, because that's just how I usually do it. And honestly, I'm usually swing trading like on a big time frame. So that's why I told you guys that this is just me relearning, because I did that a lot earlier this year, but just me getting back into low time frame trading, sharing with you all my fails and all of my wins, hopefully more wins than fails, right? And in the meantime, I have launched this competition with Bidunix that you can win $5,000 just trading like you usually do. You just have with the referral score here down below, just have to sign up with that referral and join the link that I've sent in, just get it here, man, that I have sent earlier as well in the chat. For some reason I can't write in the chat. I can't copy shit in the chat. That is weird. If I just take this, copy. I think I know what's going on here. Yeah, I think it's because when I'm doing my commands, it kind of didn't really touch it, man. That's what I say with the bearish part. Ooh, I'm getting some weekly warnings here on my Solana trade. It's basically just because if I'm looking at Solana, I'm looking at stochastic RSI movement as well, as long with open interest liquidations, and it looks like we could actually be trading soon. We could be trading up again, having a new leg. It looks like we're regaining momentum on Solana as well. Right now I'm just looking at Bitcoin, and as I told you guys before, a perfect entry. Like, this would actually have been a very, very healthy trade. Like, really good trade, actually. But now I don't want to, I don't want to FOMO in. I would rather wait for this to potentially go down. As you can see, we are having a very strong upwards movement. And it could be followed by even like half an hour of just ranging in the top side. But most likely we will fall short, even though we are very oversold in the 1 hourly. I expect us to range here for a little bit more, maybe even going a little bit lower on a wick on the 2 hourly. And from that close, the next 2 hourly close, as you can see, that happened right here. On the next 2 hourly close, we could have swept lower, and for the 4 hourly to regain its momentum, because this 4 hourly candle is pretty. Like, it really is pretty. Fuck, man. So it looks like I'm getting my complete confirmation on my morning star theory here. We get the big red candle, indecision candle, long leg doji, and we take back the majority of that gain. But as it's just a 1 hour candle, it doesn't have that much merit. That's, if you can see kind of, I want to zoom out. Here. The interesting part right now is that exactly on the lower time frames, we are trading. Yeah, 1 and 3 minutes is just very, very short. Like, but 5 minutes right above Bollinger Band, but 15 minutes below, 30 minutes way below, 1 hourly way below. Like, we still have on the 1 hourly to regain the bullish momentum on the hourly. Still have a 1% move. 2 hourly, we are barely scraping that, so we're still kind of moving back towards that zone. But on the 4 hourly, we are sitting just above it. On the daily, again, we are sitting right in the sweet spot. And on the weekly, that's what I hate about doing low time frame, because it's just so messy when you zoom out. But yeah, let's look at this one. Let's look at the weekly. We are so far below Bitcoin's, median Bollinger Band level here. So that's like a 20% move. And I'm not saying that we will get that this week, but I do expect us to continue this bullish. And for us to have this next top, this blow off top, or the next top formation, December 24, we kissed it to the top side. May we did it, and on October 6th we did it. We actually also did it in July, right? But if we say this happens between now and end of January, if we go higher, my initial Bitcoin top before end of January would actually remain. I have spoken on this a lot about on X, the 5-year cycle playing out and the top formation hitting around this point. Like a 50% pump from here would gain us 135k. And I said 130 to 135k I would expect to hit if we were following this. I made this here. The 12-week offset gold all-time high pattern that we saw here. Bitcoin all-time high, perfectly 12 weeks after. Gold all-time high, Bitcoin all-time high, perfectly 12 weeks after. Gold all-time high, Bitcoin all-time high would happen in the week, of January the 5th. But that still leaves us 7 days in that week to get that all-time high. So let's say plus, that is January 12th. So that's the range we have to hit that. And I did this based on this increase based on previous metrics. I don't really want to go into the math. I still feel like this was a very, very good entry that I just missed. Like a very good entry. I was actually looking at the 15 here. No, I was looking at the 5-minute time frame. Yeah, this is the range that I should have entered. And honestly, I could have had almost a percent move, but since I was aiming for a 15% trade, most likely I would either here at the 5%, I would either have a trailing stop loss, in this range, and then just keep increasing it with the market here, and then just inevitably maybe have it lost here again. But there's no loss when you get profits, right? But also I told you guys about this range that I'm looking for a short, because we are on the very low time frame getting a little bit overbought. Even on the 1 minute we are ranging high and the Bollinger Band is expanding, but we are going a little bit lower. Fuck's sake. If you were trading with a $10,000 portfolio here, that's degenerate. But if you were doing that with a 30x, that would be a whole different story. You're having a 30%, here, a 15% move on that, that's $1,500. That would be a very great day for me on trading. But as I told you guys, I am refining my short time frame trading strategy, and then I will be increasing my portfolio, my risk appetite substantially. Right now I'm just trading with a couple of $100, and as I said, we hit the top here, and that is when we should expect the shorts to happen. When would that be? Like if we had 0.3% move, that would be this range. Fuck man, I should just short it right now, should I? Oversold. Starting to move, so I don't really want to do it. But we're still seeing a very, very healthy retracement. But for it to be, I don't want to be making a 3% trade. I needed to go down to this range. But do I expect it to do that within the next 15 minutes without it breaking out here? In the next 15 minutes? This is very analytic, and I know it's boring, and I know my bot is set up like shit. Maybe you can actually not see it because my BitUnix banner is constantly showing. I can just rearrange that. So we had like 10-minute pause, and we showed it for like 20 seconds. That must be a great way of doing that. Save. So as told you guys, we're gonna move out of it. Moving a sharp turn towards the 2 hourly. Looks like it's gonna find its bottom. Hopefully when this closes. The 4 hourly. When the 4 hourly closes, I think it's gonna be maybe a continuation of this. But again, sometimes it's good to wait for confirmation, because this candle right here at 17 o'clock, if you just look at it like that, this candle right here, it had a lot of range, but we still haven't broken that range. It's just volatile. We're just ranging within it. That's why we tend to get blinded by the lower time frame. But honestly, we're just ranging here within it. We're meeting resistance at the top. We're maybe moving a little bit down to the downside again. And honestly, we could move down here before moving up again. That would be no difference in the pattern. It is still being a great, trend here. But it looks like it is oversold, meaning we're ranging higher. Here, if you're looking at the 2 hourly candle, it's the same candle we're looking at here, but just more accumulated volume. It looks like it is cooling off, of course, from these 2 big candles, but it still hasn't found its exact bottom. Not confirmation of it, but if we're closing this candle in 2 hours in this range here, it would most likely die off. Because if we look at the 4 hourly here, we had a big sell-off, but we didn't have a long enough trend for this to really be a 4 hourly, as you can see here, a 4 hourly oversold zone. So maybe I will just call it a day. Like we had one little bad trade and a great trade after that. So we're still in profits, and we're actually in front of our first trade here. We should only have been making like $30, but we made 40. Like that's, I spent way too much time on it, but we also covered a whole lot of technical analysis, a lot of speculation, a lot of educational explanation of how to use indicators, how the market has been moving. My theories around this indecision candle, this long leg doji, and my ranges, as you can see the top and the bottom of it, and how we are breaking out from that, how it determines, in my opinion, determines the course of the whole market. If we're going to be having a bull run or a bearish continuation, that would confirm the bear market. So if we actually look at it from this day, last week close, this day, nothing, just again volatility. But this volatility it has been lower. So we can kind of make a funnel here. We kind of make a funnel here. And there's not a correct, way of doing it. But we could say if that is the lower, you can kind of make a little funnel here saying that we most likely will find its volatile range here. And since we are in the bullish area here, this is weekly candles, so I think it's okay we don't make it a long funnel. But let me just actually save that one, because it would be funny to see how this plays out. If we actually break the resistance here and we shoot, because we will have to move fast to get a new all-time high January 12th, we would have to have a strong, very aggressive move within the next couple of weeks, a Christmas time move, Christmas miracle if you want. So if we need to have the gold scenario playing out, the 12-week offset at M2 actually being accurate again, along with these indecision candles usually having a 2 to 6 week time frame where they play out, like the indecision candle dumping, and the pumps as well, of course. We will have from this leg 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 perfectly lines up with the gold all-time high scenario. So I'm getting kind of bullish on this being a reality, a possibility, and the 5-year cycle will kind of have found its merit. In the meantime, I'm watching this range. Where do we close above or below, first? And going back to this chart here, like if we're ranging high in this one, I kind of want to start a short, as I said. If we're ranging low in that, I really want to start a long, because as you can see here on the daily, it looks like, as you can see here, it looks like we have a little bit of speed to regain a pump. It could lead us to have a mid-week dump or just a down movement. But on the 4-hourly, where I usually find my confirmation, either this is just a volume candle, just a little bit of an upwick to close, to confuse the investors, and we go down to the oversold area. You can see here it ranges still, but the 50 area here in stochastic RSI, that is a great area to be in, because it's kind of an even part. And if you look at the 2-hourly, we already have the oversold. So just for the 4-hourly to go back to this range, it is more than enough for me to open a long position. But I have been waiting for quite some while, because I said here that if we go to this range, that was on the 5-minute, I missed this bounce of the Bollinger Band level. I said if we go to this range, that is a great opportunity to open a long. And I have a 30x set here for my preset. And a 30x long here, I'm looking for a 0.5% move to get a 15% pump here, profit. But that would have been very, very lucrative. And then I also said, like, if we cross out of the top Bollinger Band, I would be shorting the market, but I don't like shorting it when I'm bullish. So this wouldn't have been bad. Like, still would have been like 6% profit trade on a short, but I really, really just want to get back to this level, and more kind of. I really want to get back to 89.5, but I think that ship has sailed. I just want to kiss this lower range. You can see since the last couple of hours, this has just been our ranging part here. And we can actually just go down here. And up here. We have all the way from like 16 o'clock, all of that volatility is just sitting in here. There's, as you can see, we are creating a funnel for the Bollinger Bands. And in my opinion, again, that's why I should have just opened it, where we have these long funnels. Like this is a long ass funnel. But if you're looking at like this here, for me, that signals that we are having a trend. It is getting, we're getting indecisive. We're having a fight between the bears and the bulls. And in this range, we're just having accumulation before the next move out. And of course, it completely tricked every retailer here. Like we dumped and we pump again. But in my opinion, these funnels often happen on a, you can see a pump, funnel, a dump, on accumulation zones. Of course, they can vary in looks, but when we have these funnels, I often think that it is a trend reversing. We don't have them often, but a dump, and we're funneling to kind of accumulating before a new move happening here. Again, here dumping to a big ass move. That was the last time we hit the all-time high, right? We had a 15% move within just couple of weeks. So I'm not saying it's gonna happen here. Like it already kind of happened, as you can see, on the larger time frame. So again, for this move, I'm not saying that it will happen when looking at a lower time frame, just saying that it looks like we have confirmation at the higher time frame that this is a viable indicator to use. But it is always risky looking at lower time frames. Because they are so volatile, they're so indecisive, and it takes like, for this was a 5-minute chart, it's like 10 minutes, the whole shit can be changed around. So I think now that I have missed my entry and I've kind of trailed it and looking if it could go back, you see here the 2 hourly, I was waiting. I'm not gonna sit here for 1 hour and 40 minutes anymore, especially now that I'm just, experimenting. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna close the stream. I'm gonna set an alert to 1 hour. I'm gonna set an alert for this range here, actually. I think what I'm gonna do, what I'm gonna do right now is, I don't think I'm gonna get below this here. Am I actually? This liquidity zone here is very strong. But I would take alert to the upside of it because I'm still bullish. So I think we will bounce nice from the support we have in this range. But I would maybe go to the 4 hourly. See, that's a stronger. So we say take the 4 hourly here in the tops. Setting that here. That would take us to 89.7. That's why we zoom out, man. Because if I had zoomed out and took this zone, my 89.6 entry would have been golden. As you can see now, I would have netted a great trade. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this here, and for me to actually be able to react on it, I'm gonna just take the bottom of this candle. I'm gonna say this range here, maybe a little higher actually, because the chances of me reacting instantly, price dropped. I'm gonna actually take it here on the 2 hourly. No, because the problem is I'm actually sitting high on the Bollinger Band here. We can take a time frame where we are actually crossing above it. I can take an other median here and add an alert there, meaning that if we on the next half hour have a wick down from the 5 minutes to this range, I can enter a long trade here because I expect us to go back maybe, but I don't want to short it. So I set up a low time frame alert, and I set up a long time frame alert, meaning that this range is where I would be considering entering. So thank you guys for watching. I know it wasn't the the most exciting trading stream, but at least we did learn a whole shit ton about indicators, market perspective. Next time, if you're watching this video actually, next time, just comment on this video an indicator you would like to learn about, a coin you would like me to trade, because automatically I'm looking at a lot of the TA on the charts I'm trading. Like this was just Bitcoin. I'm gonna automatically trade Bitcoin unless I get suggestions, honestly, because Bitcoin, in my opinion, is safer. There's nothing safe, but it is safer. This is not financial advice, but I just personally like trading Bitcoin chart because the fluctuation is lesser, so I can just increase my leverage basically. And since we are not right now in a point where Bitcoin dominance is at a peak point, I don't expect it to be breaking down per se and all is running. We could have an alt run, a mini alt run, a slight ETH performance or a bullish news for Chainlink or whatever, or Algorand, making a progression in quantum resistancy or making a progression with some of their partners, a big announcement. But for the general altcoin market to outperform Bitcoin, I would expect that to happen on a peak Bitcoin dominance level. But since we are not anywhere close to that, you can see here, we are kind of in the middle of a Fibonacci retracement zone here. I would be more cautious for Bitcoin. You see, I expected a breakdown happening around, end of October, because I didn't see the reality behind M2. I see that now. But usually when we hit these lines, these levels, these resistant points, we have a move. And we actually did have, you can see, bounce neatly from it. Not as aggressively as I was expecting, but let's just maybe say we're going to have this movement. All right? We might not even go back to the highs, especially if we are... We might actually see something like this happening. Either it's going to be like this. This is just me toying around here. Either it's going to be something like this, and it's going to be a very aggressive move, as you saw here. Because if we're going to have that January Bitcoin all-time high, it would have to happen maybe even like this. We could be touching this resistance level again on the Fibonacci around that January 5th or 12th. And when hitting that Bitcoin all-time high, we would seek another dip in dominance. Because if we get an all-time high for Bitcoin, alts will also have that move. Yeah, that could be a very strong possibility. I'm just gonna save it, see what happens. But yeah, let's go back to the 5. It's ranging a lot. I'm just gonna wait for my possibility, and if I miss it completely, doesn't matter, because I got my trade. I was looking for that. I think it's dangerous to go by balance, because you like from trade 10, you need $100 profit. There's several ways to do that. But if I'm doing like a $200 bet, that's gonna be a 50%. You gotta keep compounding. But right now, I have like 240. So I should maybe do like this. I'll say 240. That's my next trade. And so far, I am $10 ahead of my trading schedule. Yeah, that's what I've fucking been waiting for. Didn't want to short it, but I waited for it. I'm eating some Tic Tacs because, oh my god, it's like an hour and a half ago. I should have been making dinner, but I just kept staring at the charts. That's my issue. I love the charts. Eating these Tic Tacs is just for the taste. Like I like what I'm seeing on the very long time frames. We had the move. The Bollinger Band is expanding, meaning that we are could maybe catch that. The move just started on the 5 minutes, and that makes sense. The 15 minutes at least, we're looking at a overbought area, meaning we hit resistance on the Bollinger Band and we moved down. That's what I waited for. 30 minutes, we're far from the top side. We still have kind of a bullish breakout here. 1 hourly, just crossed above here. I like to see that. 2 hourly, we are finding a very strong bottom. I've been waiting for this signal for like fucking almost 2 hours now. But on the 4 hourly, I still need that confirmation, man. Still need the confirmation, but that's because I'm usually trading on higher time frames. So I look at 4 hourly usually, at daily, and I'm looking at weekly. And that is when I look at that weekly, that is when I enter, because basically the last couple of weeks I have been so incredibly bullish, because look at this, we have been so oversold, like incredibly oversold on a weekly. So basically anywhere here, if you just 10x long here, you would be in 40% profit. No one can complain about that. So that is when I see that extremely oversoldness here on the high time frames, and I can confirm it on a daily. Like I couldn't this week, but last week we was here. This last 2 weeks we were in this range, meaning that yeah, we're dumping, but I just keep DCAing. But now I'm trying to get back into low time frame trading. So I need confirmation on the 4 hourly. Maybe 2 hourly may actually be a better confirmation area. And the 2 hourly here is going back towards my alert zone here. I just like seeing that. So right now, if I would have been taking a walk, I could have had my alerts hit here in the ranges, liquidity ranges that I was expecting. And I had the possibility to open up unless a quick move came and into the position. I really want to long this one. But I need this move. This would be the move that I would need. And first alert hit. Oh shit, I thought I opened a position or some shit like that. Am I just gonna take it? Because I have been waiting for too long the other time, but it looks like on the 15 minute that we are breaking a little bit down. Could be ranging more down. What I don't like is we are trading so low. You can see here. We haven't been trading that long, for that long time under, here below the Bollinger Band. Especially if you're looking on the hourly. Like this time here spent below led to a significant bounce. If you just got like this entry, it's still a very great bounce. And now, but we also closed outside the Bollinger Band. I might actually risk the port right here. Not the port, but the trade. And I might open along and say the stop loss is gonna be somewhere around here. And the take profit would be somewhere around here. That wouldn't be a bad one. So I would take this trade and I would open it. Yeah, looks like we're finding a great low bounce here. Yeah, fuck it. I'm just gonna do it. Did I open long? I hope I did, right? Yeah. Yeah, we actually opened it right around our second alert. It looks like it was set nicely. See, this would be amazing. Like, this 15% move would be amazing. I'm not expecting it, and I could already now close it to just extremely scalp this one. Like, so what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna be a little bitch. And I'm gonna say, like, I wanna end the stream. So I think to force myself to end it, I'm gonna close my position some way. Either I'm gonna wick down here, I'm gonna just eat that, and then say, oh my god, I only got this because I think this trade could be very good. Or I'm gonna get my trade closed at the range I would. I'm just gonna trail this like aggressively, and then force myself out of my position, but remaining in profit. As you can see, it was perfect entry, man. It's a perfect entry here. So yeah, I'm gonna get liquidated. I'm just gonna get my position closed here, and I'm gonna stop streaming because I really need to take my dinner, man. I need to get my fucking dinner. I've been waiting for so long, and the only profit I got was like another $20. But it was great. It was great watching this play out, because I needed that alert to happen. That was a good resistance zone, sorry, support zone, and it worked out perfectly. It worked out perfectly because we had that support hit, and from that we bounced immediately. Like, I could have closed here to, where would that close have been? A quick $15, and that's just on a shit little trade. Right now I'm honestly just waiting for that sound of my stop loss hitting, because I gotta be honest with you, I'm hungry as shit. I'm not gonna complain though if that shit just keeps moving upwards. Don't think it will. I think it's gonna range low again. Yeah, looks like we're gonna continue it. We can see here, we need a confirmation on the oversoldness. On the 15 minutes, we are looking at a breakdown from that structure. Holy shit. I can actually move it up here, just say, take a $10 profit. That's fine. To take the 30 minutes, look like the move is starting. The 1 hour look like the move is starting. And we are finding the bottom of the 2 hourly. On the 4 hourly here, as I said, we just need the confirmation close. I've been waiting for so long, man. This is not a big ass play here, but it is a good trade. And honestly, from those 3 trades I made today, I have already kind of really found some great rhythm. Holy shit here. And so that's what I'm gonna do, and I'm just gonna trail it very closely, because now I have a $20 profit. And I can actually say very comfortably that I have by far out traded my expectations today. And this green candle most likely will find, you can see this looks like, again, a Morningstar formation, but on this low time frame we can't really use it for anything. But as I said here, I said it this long ago, I expect this move to be a Morningstar formation, and we will retrace most, if not all, of this candle. That is what I've been waiting for, but I just didn't find a great entry on it. So right now we are looking like, yeah, I could also just close my position right now for $25. My TP should be 15% here. I'm not gonna decrease my stop loss. I expect it to move up again, but I'm not gonna be, because then I'm just stealing profits for myself. If it closes here, it closes fine. I'm great up. I'm up. You can say that shit. I'm a great on my trade. And I realize now that this live stream has been 2 full hours of just me completely yapping away. But it doesn't matter to me. Did my position just close? Yeah, perfect. And let's watch here actually, because did it retrace like a lot? Was it the 30-minute I was gonna look at? Yeah, it looks like we found that support bounce perfectly. So now I'm gonna end the stream, because if I'm sitting here just for 5 more minutes, I'm gonna find another range that I wanna hit, and then I'm gonna be completely stuck. And I'm a little bit sad that I didn't enter here at 89 point, was what is it, 6, 7-ish here? Because that was kind of where I was starting to look for my long. Had I entered here, I would have been up great already, and I could have set my stop loss for kind of above these wicks here. That would also have been a great point, especially I could have also just had my stop loss at break even, because I expected to hit, like, as I said before, I expected to retrace this candle. That would have been a 2 for 6, so like been a 38% profit run. That would have been a great, especially because I had like a $500 position waiting. But nevertheless, 2 successful trades, $50, and what was it? What did it end out on? Why can't I see that? The what? Just gonna refresh this. There's something odd about like my order history. Yeah, $22 profit, $50 profit, and like 11 minus. That's a great trading day for us to start out on. We're gonna increase the profits. We just hit 240 plus 20, that's 200. So we are actually sitting right here at the next step 3 on our kind of compounding quest. So next time we are looking to hit, no, that's wrong. We are in this range right now. We just successfully closed 2. The next time we're opening trade 3 and should aim for a $40 profit, meaning that we have a total gain of 50%. That is actually very good. Keep in mind, it's just 1 day. I know it's a low amount we're trading, but it's still a 50% move. So that is when we close this one, of course. But as you can see, the goal is to cross 100K. We could do that already after like 45 trades, by exponentially compounding all of our profits. And by only using like a $200 starting balance, if I lose all of that, shit happens. That's just what happens, right? But if I don't, I'm already watching my next entry, like it's so toxic. Because we're seeing this move down, and I like it. Because I see us finding a next leg, like, can I see when I closed it? Closed it. Yeah. So annoying when you just get wigged out of your position. But fuck it. See you guys. Don't forget to follow all my socials. Like on my TikTok, Instagram, my YouTube shorts. I'm calling a lot of meme coins. And this market is very volatile. It's very risky. None of this is financial advice, but we have had some sick runs, like incredible hits. And I'm always talking about why I think it's interesting. It's narratives. Everything in crypto right now is narrative based. And it doesn't have to be the next XRP coin, because for you, realistically, for you to have a coin entry within the first months of its development and then just running with it for years, Most of you guys are not going to invest in that. But I'm trying to explain to you how meme coin trading works, how low time frame trading works, like we're doing right now, how swing trading works, all kinds of crypto investment. And so far, I think we got really locked down on the DCA strategy. I think most of you guys know that by now. DCA strategy, not a problem. Low time frame trading, very risky, but as you can see, just from 1 day trading, not taking a low time frame trade of over half a year, we're already locking in again. Meme coin trading, you should also, if you've been following me for a while, have that shit on lock, because it's all narratives, it's all following the teams, even a meme coin follows TA, follows psychology behind markets movements. What the fuck, I'm yapping. Like, market makers move based on psychology of traders and TA. Sometimes you're setting up, you're painting a chart in a certain way, and you can use that if you can find, the move behind it. Just like with even XRP size coins, it's market making, bro. You know that now. You see these crashes happen, you see all these big liquidation events. It is not random, it is all controlled, and there's a reason behind it. If you find that reason, you can kind of expect the movements. And then again, there's always the bad actors, and we can't completely avoid them, but by tracking teams, by tracking wallets, by tracking narratives, we can find more comfortably find coins that we believe at least has time in the market enough for us to enter. And then we need fucking discipline, because in meme coin trading, the majority of people who loses money in meme coin trading is people who get greedy. And that's also low time frame trading. People get greedy, really greedy. And then they hold on to their profits, not realizing anything. Like right now, for example, I can see my trade. If I had it open, it would have been, where did I actually order time? I can see here, like, average price is 90k.217. Can I see where I closed it? Price. Bro, I see my buy price. Am I completely, it's because it's the close. Yeah. 89.9. 89.9. That's a very, very good position here. And I got wigged out of it, but as I said, I wanted to close my stream. I would have been like in a 15% trade here, but realistically, hitting that trade, you either trail or you take profits on a percentage of your portfolio position, sorry. And by doing so, you keep yourself in profit. And you need your most important rule when you enter your profit area where you expect more profits, but you're also comfortably in profit. Rule number 1 is exit your initials. Like, most importantly, especially meme coins. Let's say you have $200 invested in meme coin, shoots up 2x. Now I have $400. You could either exit 300 and have the 100 less just free back, or you could just take your initials out plus $50. You have made $50, but you still have 150 in that coin if you really expect it to keep moving. Rearranging in a part where I actually want to trade again. Didn't I say 5 minutes and I'm stuck again? We still have this movement happening. We are, the only time frame that I'm really wonky about is like this area right here, because the 2 hourly, the 4 hourly still needs that confirmation. So we're finding resistance at this level, to be honest. That is where I see the resistance happening, like in this zone. In this candle for the 4 hourly, we can see we're ranging here finding resistance at the top here. We're finding support around these wicks down here. Meaning that if we still need downwards momentum to happen, I would expect us to find support maybe already here. So I'm taking a little bit higher. There's actually our last entry, this. And I'm setting an alert. And I'm setting an alert right here. So if we actually go all the way down here, I will be notified. And if we break up above here, I actually also want to be notified, because then I can maybe look for a short, seeing that we are still in the very high range for the 4 hourly. So that's my ranges now. I will update you guys if I enter a trade. Actually, I will update you guys on most likely my Telegram. It's gonna be the community chat. So I will also maybe just post it on my, Signal chat. You can just you go into my link tree in my bio, and you can see community chat. That is where all the trades of all my community traders are. The Signal chat is more for meme coins, but I will also post my trades there if I actually make something off stream. I will see if I can find a bot that can immediately signal within my chat. Maybe because it's going to be my Discord chat. I'm going to do that in, because I have more bot options. But having that could be nice. Like every time I'm entering and trading BitUnix, instantly just showing you guys in the Discord channel. But we could also have a copy trading setup. But as I said, right now, I'm finding myself in the low time frame trading. You can see already now we are getting a little bit close. Looking at the 5-minute candles, I said to you guys, I think we're gonna go lower. So I could maybe have made I could have made a great trade on a short here. But as I said, I expect us to regain this candle size here. So I hope we get into this zone. Man, I'm feeling like I want to just watch it go down to my alert, re-enter that long. Oh man, I'm just stuck on the charts. This is why I don't day trade, because low time frame trading just had me zoomed in. Like I get completely hyper focused, and I can just spend hours on, like, how many hours have I been on stream right now? 3 hours, man. Holy fucking shit, I need some dinner. Yeah, see you guys. It's been fun. Next time we're gonna be set up a little bit better with the bots, etc.